Texas high school football been played for more than 100 years across the Lone Star State, and it is safe to say we have never, ever seen a night like we've got in store tonight. In week 9 of the 2024 Texas high school football season, an unprecedented slate of games. We'll be bringing you live to all of them here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. Hi friends, I'm Greg Tepper, managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine, joined by my friend, my colleague, my co-host, my compatriot, Ashley Pickle. Hi Ashley Pickle.
Howdy.
You ready? Are you ready for the biggest night of the Texas high school football season so far, but definitely so far?
I remember when the regular season schedule started to come out, we always take the grandioso look at exactly what we're looking at. And there are games that we go, oh, okay, oh man, this one's really good. Oh, that's really going to be good. And we know that prior to the season, just the blue bloods of Texas high school football, it's kind of easy to figure out. We put together a whole magazine where we list out all of these teams and who we think is going to be the top dogs. And week nine, it kept being the thing that everyone was saying. And then we stopped and we looked at it from a holistic standpoint and went, this has to be one of the best weeks of high school football. I mean, literally, you said it, since you've been doing it for 14 years.
Yeah, I'm old.
That was my main point in saying that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm old. I've been doing this a long time. And I am hard-pressed to find a week as loaded with big, high-profile, must-see Texas high school football games in the regular season like we've got tonight. I mean, this feels like, honestly, like a regional final round. Like, this is the kind of round that you would expect to be in December, not during spooky season. But the games are scary good, and we've got a bunch of them that we're going to be dropping in online.
We sure do. Take a look at this list of our spotlight games for tonight. And again, we'll be checking in on a ton of games throughout the night, but look at this. Galena Park, North Shore, Humboldt, Atascocita, likely deciding that District 23 6A. Then you go down Columbus, Hitchcock. This is star power like you haven't seen at the 3A level in so long. The fact that the Battle of the Lakes might be going unnoticed this week speaks to the depth that we're dealing with. Austin Westlake taking on Lake Travis. How about a 6-0 surprising Longview Pine Tree taking on Tyler Chapel Hill for another share of a potential district title there? Nederland and Port Neches Groves, mid-county madness, ranked one of the top high school top goodness rivalries.
You're so excited.
I'm so excited for Mid-County Madness. I can't even get the words out. This one, just an insane one down there. And then we round it all out with Pearland and Shadow Creek.
So on Texas Football Today, the show that you, the sister program of Texas Football Tonight, the one that you and I host on Texas Football Today every Monday and Thursday, I put together a list of the top 10 Texas high school football games of the week. This was the hardest week ever because of games like that. Like, how do you rank these types of games? It is massive, and because it's week 9, all these games have major district implications. Take a look at like Port Neches Groves and Nederland, right? Take it like make them 0-6 versus 0-7. It is still a massive game in the Golden Triangle because it's the 101st meeting between these two. It is a classic rivalry. It was voted by Sports Illustrated as the best rivalry in America recently. But the fact that a district championship is going to be on the line in that game, District 8 5A Division II title is on the line, only adds to what is already a must-see game.
Well, and you want to continue the rivalry train going. You look at a Battle of the Lakes with Austin Westlake and Lake Travis, and you're talking about two teams that typically not only decide that district what seems like every single year, but they carry the flag for the greater Austin area. And you have two teams at this point, I feel like, in the early aughts of that rivalry, Lake Travis had the calling card. Now it's turned into Westlake's domination. This seems like the year where these two teams might be more evenly matched than we have seen in a very long time.
I'll just tell you this. Like, you look at that slate of games. Go back a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Duncanville DeSoto, right? One of the biggest games in the state, right? That's the game, in my opinion, the game of record in DFW. North Shore Atascocita is the game of record in Houston all year long. Lake Travis Westlake is the game of record in Austin all year long. P&G Nederland is the game of record in the Golden Triangle all year long. Columbus and Hitchcock, I don't know where you put it. It's the 3A Division I game of record. Like, the slate that we've got on hand tonight is absolutely massive, and we're going to be checking in with some of our reporters from across the state of Texas, the guys who are covering these games all across the state. We're going to be checking with them live throughout the course of the evening, including See if we can hit that graphic. Gavin Moritz going to be down there at North Shore and Atascocita. No rooting interest there. Chase Snyder taking on, has got the real privilege of calling Columbus and Hitchcock. Jay Dunson going to be taking on Nederland and PNG down there at Mid-County Madness. And checking in from the Sun City in El Paso, at El Paso Coronado and El Paso Eastwood, Matt Stepp will be joining us live here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. All right, I'm going to put you on the spot. I do this to Craig Way on our show every week. You can only pick one game to go to tonight. You can only pick one game you got to watch on Dave Campbell's Texan Live, which, by the way, Texan Live, you can watch all these games. Which game?
Columbus and Hitchcock. I'm a small school 3A girl at heart, and there is nothing that gets me as excited as those two teams playing. You have two electrifying offenses going on against each other. You have defenses that are going to have to really step it up almost for the first time on either side of the ball. Hitchcock's defense has been playing great, but Columbus has left a little bit to be desired. If I could be anywhere in the state tonight, Columbus and Hitchcock would absolutely be where I would go.
Here's the thing. Not a wrong answer.
No.
Like there's no
there
wrong.
Is no wrong
you
answer.
You can say Atascocita North Shore. You could say I think 4 of the games on that list, and I'd be like, yep, absolutely, totally agree. But we are just getting started here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, and I think you got something to tell the folks.
Yeah, I do. So this one is really, really cool. So we always do our Thursday call of the night. Typically, we do our Dave Campbell's Texan Live Thursday call. There was a call that happened last night, not on our network, that we could not show you, because if you're a fan of Texas high school football, this has to go up for play of the year so far. So this one is brought to you by NBC Sports Engine with Frisco ISD. Kyle Yeoman's a good friend of the programs on the call.
Texan Live Zone.
Texan Live Zone. Yeah. He has called games on Texan Live, but he was doing this one. It was Frisco Wakeland and Frisco Lone Star. Frisco Lone Star, number 2 in the state. They played at the Ford Center at the Star last night, and one of the most incredible finishes that we've seen thus far this year. After this clip, we'll be right back after the break.
Trying to put it on ice. Hoyt will push to the 5, keeps the pile rolling, keeps on rocking. The ball popped out. Wakeland's got the football. They've got a return at the 30 with blockers up in front. Austin Wilson. He's going to take it all the way back. The Wakeland Miracle inside Ford Center. The craziest play you will ever see. Wakeland was dead to rights, and they win it in overtime. 65-59 the final from Frisco.
Want to talk Texas high school football with your 2 favorite dorks? Join television's Greg Tepper and Ashley Gizmo Pickle every Monday and Thursday at noon on TexasFootball.com. Texas Football Today, the flagship program of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. It's the same analysis, insight, review, and preview that you've come to know and love, talking about Texas high school football and college football all across the Lone Star State.
In a college football world that's increasingly nationalized, Dave Campbell's Texas Football presents The Republic of Football, the only comprehensive podcast on all 13 college teams in Texas. Live every Tuesday at noon on the Dave Campbell's YouTube page, Twitter, Facebook pages, and publishing on Apple Podcasts and Spotify shortly thereafter. Host Ishmael Johnson leads the gang in discussing the biggest college football stories from the state. You get coverage of the SEC, Big 12, ACC, AAC, CUSA, and Sunbelt, but with a little Texas twist. No one has their finger on the pulse like senior college writer MC Mike Craven, staff writer Carter Yates, and everyone's favorite Malpal producer Mallory Hartley. Come spend your lunch break, your car ride, or gym session with the Republic of Football. Live on Tuesdays at noon at TexasFootball.com and published everywhere you get your podcast shortly thereafter.
Are you ready to kick off your Wednesdays with a fresh, fun, and fearless take on football? Tune in to Women Talking Football, hosted by the dynamic duo of Dave Campbell's Texan Live, Ashley Pickle, and Mallory Hartley. Every Wednesday at 12 p.m., join us on TexasFootball.com as we deep dive into every corner of the Lone Star State's football scene. From exclusive insights with coaches' wives to on-the-ground reports from across Texas, we've got the inside scoop you won't get anywhere else. Get ready for a game-changing experience where the ladies bring their A-game, and you might just find yourself saying WTF in the best way possible. Women Talking Football, where sports analysis meets sass and expertise. You can't miss it.
Want to go deep on Texas high school football? Check out Tep and Step, the premium high school football podcast from Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Each week, Greg Tepper and Matt Stepp take you inside Texas high school football like nobody else, breaking down the biggest games and the biggest storylines from all across the state. Want to know more about Texas high school football than the guy at your water cooler? Go to TexasFootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber so you can get Tep and Step in your podcast feed. Or tune in every Friday at noon at TexasFootball.com for premium insights from Texas high school football experts Matt Stepp and Greg Tepper.
We're back here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight and ready to get the football party started on an epic week of Texas high school football. Of course, we have all of those games that we just talked about coming up in real quickly here in the show. But before we do that, do want to take a look back, Tepper, and look at some of the Thursday night action, specifically up here in the DFW. District 11 6A, the District of Doom. Have you heard of it?
I have.
Well, Waxahachie taking on Dallas Skyline last night. And you might be thinking, okay, this is one of those games where it's not a Duncanville, it's not a DeSoto, maybe not even a Lancaster. Why do we necessarily care? This is one of those crucial seeding games in that district.
Yeah, and this was a game that for Waxahachie, you got to have. Like, this is a layup type game. Skyline is basically, in many ways, a non-playoff team. But they came out absolutely firing, and this was a Skyline team that would not go away. Got a touchdown run there from Michael Beasley, and this team started rolling. I'll tell you, Waxahachie had all sorts of trouble putting away what was a very gutty Skyline team. In the end, Jerry Meyer III, the quarterback for Waxahachie, had a really nice game, a couple of touchdown passes, and this game ended up going to overtime, Ashley.
No, it absolutely did, and I think that shows that in this district especially, or in any district, when you're fighting for that third or fourth spot, it is crucial that you take these games, and it doesn't matter how you win it. If you have to do it in overtime, if you have to win it on this game-winning field goal, you can do that.
It is Ethan Guillen kicks a 39-yard field goal in overtime as Waxahachie takes down Skyline 16-13. You see what that does to the district standings, right? Duncanville and DeSoto, I'm going to pencil them into the playoffs. Is that going too far?
Seems good.
Okay. Lancaster has rallied from a very slow start to their non-district season, but they are 3-1 in district play. For Waxahachie, you see how critical that game was to make sure you get that win. For Skyline, it's a backbreaker for them. That was kind of their last gasp, a must-have type of game for them. Cedar Hill taking aim at DeSoto tonight, but for Waxahachie to come away with that gutty win sets them up in a good spot to grab probably that third or fourth playoff spot out of District 11 6A. So.
And that will be decided next week when Waxahachie takes on the aforementioned Lancaster Tigers. So they were able to get past Cedar Hill, which kind of put them up into that top four echelon. Now next week, a big one there to decide the third and fourth place seeding of 11 6A. All right, we've got one more Thursday night game to get to after the break, but before we go there, it is time to announce our Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week.
I'll do it.
Greg Tepper, can I get a drum roll? And this week, Week 8, Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week was... Boom! There it is. It is Federico Roberson, the running back from Haltom High School. He had 28 carries for, get this, 394 yards and tacked on 5 rushing touchdowns just for fun. Almost 400 yards on the ground. Congratulations, Federico. You, sir, are the Week 8 Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week. All right, coming up after the break, one more Thursday night game you won't want to miss. Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Texas Army National Guard are honored to present the Coach of the Week Award, celebrating one head coach in 7 different classifications. That's 6A all the way down to 6-man, and of course, private school every single week. Think your head coach deserves some recognition? Nominate them under our weekly Twitter and Facebook post. Those will come out Friday at 10:30 p.m., Saturday 8:30 p.m., and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. That's facebook.com/Dave Campbell's or at DCTF on Twitter. Thank you to Texas Army National Guard for helping spotlight the hard work and dedication of high school head coaches across Texas.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Ozarka will announce 7 Team of the Week winners for 14 weeks of the Texas high school football season from Class 6A down to 6-man, and including private schools. Head to texasfootball.com, go to the awards tab, and find Ozarka Team of the Week to see this season's winners and vote for your program to be named. Winners are announced every Wednesday on Twitter and Facebook.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Panini America are teaming up this season to honor the best high school quarterbacks across the state of Texas. 7 quarterbacks, 1 in each classification, 1A through 6A in private schools, will be named Quarterback of the Week and will receive a virtual Panini America trading card to commemorate their performance. Check out which outstanding quarterback was selected each Tuesday morning on the Dave Campbell's Twitter and Facebook pages.
Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take you. Baylor Scott and White Health, the power to live better.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Wing have selected 64 high schools in DFW to take part in a head-to-head online bracket challenge, showing their school pride and community spirit during the 2024 Texas high school football season. The winner will receive a $5,000 donation back to their school. We're currently in the Elite 8, which concludes November 1st. For more information on the challenge, go to texasfootball.com/most-spirited-school-challenge.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight on the biggest Friday night of the Texas high school football regular season with big games all across the state. Greg Tepper, Ashley Pickle with you up until 10 o'clock, maybe beyond. Who knows? There's no rules. It's like Outback Steakhouse.
I hope you enjoyed your Outback Steakhouse.
Speaking of Outback Steakhouse, Katie Pato and Katie said good day to one another yesterday in a big Thursday night game in District 19 6A. Katie and Pato going at it. Let's go to the highlights down there at Rhodes Stadium in Katy. Pick up the first quarter. Joshua Smith is going to get the pass from Gunnar Nelson out in the flat for a 6-yard touchdown catch. It's 7-0 Katy early. Then more from the Tigers. This time Gunnar Nelson going to take it himself in from a yard out. It's 14-0 Tigers on top. Pato would get on the board here in the form of senior kicker Omar Yagi, who's going to punch through that 30-yard field goal, makes it 14-3. But another response from Katy this time. Oh, a little end around to Cade McCall. He's got a house call for 6. It's 20-3 Katy at the half. In the second half, same song, different verse. It's Katy. It's Gunnar Nelson. Play action, rolling to his left. He's going to find Ricky Fox's big tight end power in for the touchdown. It's 27-3 Katy. And then they put a bow on it here in the fourth quarter. Sophomore running back Tony Manuel is going to follow his blocker off left tackle, plunge in for the 7-yard score. Katy wins it 37-3 in dominant fashion there to remain unbeaten in district play and really take command of District 19 6A. Let's take a look at the District 19 6A standings and what this does for that district. Specifically, Katy keeping on rolling. They've now got wins over Jordan and over Pato. Barring a truly unprecedented collapse here from the Tigers, they're going to win yet another district championship.
Yeah, I mean, Katy winning a district championship, the water's still wet, exactly. It's what you have come to expect, and that just speaks to the powerhouse that Gary Joseph has built there with the Tigers. But I'll tell you, the thing that I've been most impressed with when it's come to Katy so far has been Gunnar Nelson. Mm-hmm. He has been crucial at that quarterback spot. And I know that that's weird to say when you start talking about Katy because it's run the ball. You saw out of those highlights, they didn't even have to rely on their superstar running back, Tremaine Hill, yesterday. They found different ways to do it. It was play actions with big old tight ends. It was other running backs stepping in the typical I formation. They have so many weapons, but it all starts with Gunnar Nelson.
I think you're exactly right. I think that Katy, I've said this before, I think Katy's the best play action team in America just because run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. And then when you've got a quarterback like Gunnar Nelson who can pull it and roll out, He's going to have weapons. He's just got to put it on them, and he has been razor sharp to start the year, has been Gunnar Nelson and those Katy Tigers, who are careening towards another district championship. It looks like right now they're probably going to the Division I bracket, which could set them up on a collision course with one of the other teams that we're going to be talking about tonight, North Shore or Duncan, or North Shore and Atascocita. But a lot of still a couple weeks to sort out what the playoffs are going to look like in Texas high school ball this year.
That's what makes that District 19 6A so fun, is it does genuinely depend on where Katy's going to end up, which makes it a blast. All right, enough of things that have happened. After the break, we've got one of the best weeks of Texas high school football that we've ever seen, and we're going to bounce around through all of the different games. We hope you will stick here with us all night long on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. So before we get to break, one more thing left to do, and that is, of course, to award our Texas State Technical College Technical Play of the Week. This one coming from the Jackrabbits of Forney. It was Amari Jahil. Okay, acrobats, gymnastics, everything that you could possibly want out of an insane technical play of the week. Without further ado, here's the Texas State Technical College Technical Play of the Week. We'll see you right after the break.
Peterson. End zone shot. Oh, what a catch by Amari Jahil. Touchdown, Forney. And with 1:56 to play, it's a one-score game.
This replay is going to tell you how special number one is. That is a play where he is really just twisting his body around. Look at this, man. This is seeing it on the backside. Here's a spin move coming right back and getting his foot down in bounds.
To twist like that and get your foot down is special.
New Orleans up 10-0.
Takis is the presenting sponsor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Sustainability Champions Award, spotlighting influential kids looking to pursue a career focused on social, environmental, and economic well-being for our future. Be sure to check out this week's Spotlight Game of the Week, where we'll be spotlighting 2 Sustainability Champions Award winners. Thank you to Takis for your support of the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Sustainability Champions Award. For more information, visit texasfootball.com.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football is proud to partner with Sport Tyler to award the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week, which recognizes the top offensive player in Division I college football, who also exhibits the enduring characteristics that define Earl Campbell: integrity, performance, teamwork, sportsmanship, drive, community, and tenacity. It all leads up to the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award, announced in January. Congratulations to this week's winner of the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week. For more information, visit earlcampbellaward.com.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Higginbotham have teamed up to find the most driven team in Texas. This fall, 10 finalists will be highlighted throughout the season, with one student athlete from each team receiving the Most Driven Scholar Athlete Award for their leadership in the classroom, along with $1,000 in tuition assistance. In November, all 10 communities will rally to vote on TexasFootball.com, competing for the title of the most driven team in Texas. The school that rallies the most online votes will receive a $10,000 donation to their school, thanks to the support of Higginbotham. To learn more, visit TexasFootball.com/mostdriventeam.
Hey DFW residents, get your grocery essentials in minutes, not hours or days, with Wing Drone Delivery. Forget about last-minute trips to the store when you need things like cereal for breakfast before school, medicine for a cold, or snacks for a movie night. Wings drones get you quick, no-contact delivery in as fast as 15 minutes. Say goodbye to last-minute grocery runs and say hello to more of your valuable time. Sign up today.
I believe in this community, and I believe in the kids that are in it, and I believe in the products that we're putting out, which are those students being successful in life. I've been teaching 28 years, and now I'm working beside some of the students that I used to have.
I'm sitting here because of Dane Robinson. He's so invested into what we do here.
Looking back, anything that we could have done that inspired that kid to help become who they are in the world, I think we're making a difference.
It's Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, and it's the best week of the Texas high school football we have seen thus far. Thank you for joining us. Ashley Pickle, Greg Tepper's over there, I promise. You don't need to see him. There he is. All right, how about we dive into some of the Friday night action happening right now. We take you down to the Houston area. It is Willis taking on Oak Ridge. Willis moving on their opening drive. It's Jack Emerson hits Terry Lawrence in for the touchdown. He goes. Willis. Jack Emerson going to strike again. This time it's Jermaine Bishop Jr. That guy can do it all. Willis keeps pouring it on. How about a second one there for Mr. Lawrence? Make the game 21-3. Hey, do you remember that guy, Terry Lawrence, that I talked about? Guess what? He's got the ball again. What does that mean? It means 3 touchdowns already in the first half.
Magnolia taking on Tom Ball. This is Jackson Falden. He's going to buy time, find Malik Johnny, and he's going to take it in for the score. That's going to open the scoring there for Tom Ball. Then Oswaldo Morales is going to grab the ball. He's going to plunge his way, fight through defenders, will not be denied, gets across for a touchdown. That would extend the lead to 14-0. Magnolia would have a response, though. Braden Purifoy is going to plunge in for the score, makes it 14-7. Keeping an eye on those games across the state of Texas. Many of the games going on across the state of Texas you can find on TexanLive.com. Have you heard about that? You heard about this?
Heard
about this, Kev?
On Dave Campbell's Texan Live?
Yeah, you can watch dozens of games, like right now.
How could I get there, though?
Well, what a great quote. Oh, my gosh!
The QR code!
Hey, do you remember when the QR code, it came out 10 years too early, and everyone's like, no, it's not going to work. And now it's back. Big comeback for the QR code. Scan that QR code. It'll take you to TexanLive.com. You can watch dozens of live Texas high school football games right now on your device. TexanLive.com is part of your Dave Campbell's Texas football subscription. Pickle, do you want to do the honors?
I will gladly, as we take a look for the first time tonight at the Quad Box.
And what a quad box it is.
The only thing that you can find on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, the best thing around on a Friday night. We welcome you into the Quad Box. We've got number 2 North Shore taking on number 4 Atascocita. The Battle of the Lakes with Westlake and Lake Travis. You move down from there, Barbers Hill and Gal Ball duking it out there, and then Pearland and Shadow Creek. Tepper, what is catching your eye first and foremost?
Couple of things. Obviously, North Shore Atascocita is the big headline there. Westlake can't haul it in. That's the big headline there, the big headline matchup there in the Houston area. North Shore up 13-9 early in that one. Westlake up early on Lake Travis. Shadow Creek, this is a real question in this one. They are going to be without their starting quarterback. Their starting quarterback is out for the year with a leg injury, and so as a result, they're going to have to find other ways to win this game. Joseph Stewart out with injury, but Shadow Creek making sure, so far so good. As you see, Atascocita gets in for the go-ahead touchdown there. Carde Mack in for the score as Atascocita regains the lead. And then Barbers Hill and Galveston Ball. This is a big matchup down there. Galveston Ball undefeated, looking very good so far, but getting a big test there in Galveston from Barbers Hill.
It's interesting when you take a look at that score there for Atascocita, and I think we were all talking in the office earlier this week about how it seems like Torrey Blaylock, their outstanding running back, has been the one that when they've gotten into any sort of a pinch, he's the one to get them out. Eventually, we have seen how incredible of a player Carde Mack is, but eventually Carde Mack's going to have one of those games where he's the one that puts on the cape. This would be the game for him to do it.
Oh, absolutely. I think they're going to need the best game yet from Carde Mack if they're going to end up winning this ball game. And by the way, for North Shore, they're giving up. They've already given up, 16 points. That is the second most points they've given up in a game this year. They gave up 21 to Kingwood back in Week 6. Other than that, they've been touched up a little bit by Atascocita. You see Westlake driving. The Reese Wise, they're handing it off. This Westlake Lake Travis game is one game that obviously the Battle of the Lakes we're super interested in. I think every Lake Travis Westlake game has a different flavor. The flavor for me of this year's game is quarterback play and defense. Yep. That's the two things that really stand out to me because both these teams have great quarterbacks and both of them have defenses that have really, really been showing out so far.
And you talk about, who has the upper hand because you've got Chaston Ditta going on against Reese Wise. Incredible. Both of these defense. A Tony Salazar defense is one that you don't mess with in Westlake.
Set your watch by it.
Lake Travis, their calling card for the past couple of years has been the defense. But here is what I'm interested to see is Lake Travis has a secret weapon in Van Hopping, their running back. That gives them a balanced attack. And that, to me, Tepper, if Lake Travis can handle the Westlake lines, could be the difference in this game.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I think is going to be interesting to see is can they put pressure on Reese Wise? Can Lake Travis looks like they're going to force a Westlake Westlake punt here. That's one of the questions here. Is that the trench play? I think Lake Travis is not huge up front, but they're quick. And this is a big, menacing Westlake offensive line. Per usual, how well can they pressure Reese Wise? Obviously working there, put Reese Wise under pressure there to force an incompletion on third down, which brings out the punting unit for the Shaps. This, of course, was a very tough ticket there in Austin. I think it sold out pretty quickly there at Cavalier Stadium.
It usually always does.
Usually does. Of course, reminder, you can watch all these games live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. Go to TexanLive.com, stream these games right now. If we could, I know that there's a couple other games going on across the state of Texas. Let's see when Lake Travis gets back out on the field. A look at Chasten Ditta, a guy that is the latest in a long line of great quarterbacks there at Lake Travis. Obviously, guys like Baker Mayfield, Garrett Gilbert have led the way there at Lake Travis. But you mentioned it. Van Hopping is so important to what they do. And I want to see, can they find a way against what has been a terrific Westlake front there. Bouncing over to back to Galveston County.
So obviously, Hitchcock taking the early lead. We do have word that do-it-all athlete Grayson Rigdon for Columbus appears to be injured in this one. So the injury happened in this game. He came back in for a little bit, now out again. So something we're keeping our finger on the pulse of there, as Tepper, I think that could very much affect the outcome of a game like this. Now, that's not to mention that Columbus doesn't have a plethora of superstars all over the field, but losing him would be a big notch in the belt.
You do not want to lose the guy who's been your leading rusher, who's been given the balance of this team, because I think that what has made Columbus the number one scoring offense in all of Texas high school football, any classification, has been that it hasn't been all Adam Schobel, their quarterback there, who's about to take the snap. It hasn't been him. Of course, he can do something like this.
Oh, my goodness.
Got a man. Oh, what a grab. Oh, what a throw. What a catch. Certainly hope
What a catch by that receiver.
Yeah, certainly hope he just landed
on the ball.
Yeah, knocked the wind out of himself.
I think that's what
but
it
a
is.
fantastic pitch and catch there as Adam Schobel dropping it in the bucket. And this is a Columbus team that, look, obviously you would prefer to have a guy like Grayson Rigdon, your top your top runner there. But you feel good that no matter what, you've got QB1 back there, a guy who can take command of this offense no matter what. For Hitchcock, this is a team that started off slow. You remember they had they lost in week 1 to Spring Legacy School of Sports and Science. You see Richland, they're plowing in for the road to extend their lead over Aledo. Certainly interesting.
So the Richland came out of the gate with an onside kick and was able to get an early score, then scoring again, and now adding to it.
Look, if you're Richland and you are facing on the road at Aledo, you're wounded. You do not have your top running back. Michael Turner's out for the year. You got to be a crazy guy in a fight here.
Absolutely. And to keep your foot on the gas, because when is the last time that we saw a team do this? Just a couple weeks ago when they took on Denton Ryan. Denton Ryan gets out to the early start. We say, oh my goodness, is Aledo's district win streak of 8 bajillion years going to finally end? 17 years, that is. And Aledo came out the second half and held them scoreless in the second half. That will be the interesting thing here. When you go into halftime, can they come out and continue to go? Westlake's got the ball, looks like on a turnover here. They've got the ball, and we are going to see if they can capitalize on this. They're leading 7-3 there at Lake Travis. Those look like two college lines going up against each other. Rye's going to fake it, keep it.
Oh, across the middle!
Threads the needle.
Reese
what
Wise.
A beautiful pass there by Wise.
And a fantastic pitch and catch there from Westlake, and they make them pay for the turnover. They will pounce on your mistakes, plain and simple. And for Westlake, it's a huge start for them. So we bounce back to the Houston area where Atascocita has the lead and the ball there. And there's I believe that's Tori Blaylock.
Doing Tori Blaylock things.
Yes, that's a game we're keeping an eye on, obviously. Arguably the premier game in the state. I mean, you could say both these games are two of the premier games in the state. You can watch these live on Texan Live right now.
Well, and I think what we just saw in that Lake Travis Westlake game is a topic of conversation for both of these games. When you have star-studded rosters like this, you have two teams that have very comparable units on both sides of the ball. those turnovers are going to be the thing that can come back to really, really swing how one of these games finished up. And so keeping the ball safe was probably something that I guarantee you all 4 of these very good coaches preached all week long heading into these 2.
It's Carde Mack on a designed run there, designed keeper. That's one game that we're keeping an eye on here. Torrey Blaylock has not played so far in this game. We're getting word. So this is a game that we're keeping an eye on here with Atascocita and North Shore. It's going to have to be the Carde Mack show. Like, there's got to be a Carde Mack like a legacy game. But one other thing to keep in mind here. We mentioned in the open, North Shore has beaten Atascocita 8 times since 2019. They have knocked them out of the playoffs 3 times. History would tell you this is the first of 2 meetings between these 2 teams.
Yes.
So keep an eye on these on that, and how do you coach these games? Well, there as Carde Mack escaping and getting there down for the first down as Atascocita keeps on moving.
All right, so this one, a star-studded banger happening down in the Houston area. How about we expand out and go a little bit down into further southeast Texas? It is the game that was the hottest ticket in town, Mid-County Madness, Nederland and Port Neches Groves. Our very own Jay Dunson was lucky enough to make it out there. Jay, it seems like Nederland has come out of the gate in the homes of the reigning state champs there and said, hey guys, we're not here to mess around this time. What have you seen from the Bulldogs so far?
Well, they jumped out to a 10-point lead early, and what I've seen really from both these teams is they're trying to establish the run, and neither one has really been able to establish the run yet. They've passed the ball well, but they haven't passed it much. PNG, they stole a score at the end with 2 minutes left, pulled them within 3, missed a field goal earlier, so it could very well be tied. So I look for Jeff Joseph and his offense. They've been trying to establish the run the entire game. They haven't yet. They've had a couple good runs. Same with Nederland. They haven't been able to get Hubert Thomas going yet. And if he gets going, Nederland can win this game.
I want to ask you about the other kind of element here, which is that this is one of the great rivalries in Texas high school football, the 101st meeting of Mid-County Madness down there. Can you set the stage for us? What's the scene down there like on the reservation?
Well, the first thing I noticed was I tried to establish a parking spot, which was a challenge to start with. I got here 2 hours early and still had to park a block and a half away, but it was nice that there was free links on barbecue links on the way up, so that was nice. But it's packed on both sides. It truly is mid-county madness. It is insane.
That is awesome, and you know that part of the state loves the word insane being used as the way to describe it. Jay, appreciate you. Best of luck getting out of there tonight, my man. Be careful and drive home safe. And Tepper, I think that he hit the nail on the head there. You get there 2 hours early, and he's still parking all the way down there. Yeah,
this game sold out like in a minute, basically, down there. It's the hottest ticket in town. And it's been a minute since both Nederland and PNG have been good at the same time. I mean, this is the biggest Mid-County Madness game in years. And it's a big game every year, but like the fact that it's for a district championship, the fact that Nederland under first-year coach Scott Rich, also a KD guy, also a Gary Joseph disciple, has got them rolling right now. It's made this game even better and even more special. I think for Nederland, like, credit to them, they're not afraid here. I will say this, though. PNG's pretty good in close games. They have made a living in close games, 12-0 under Jeff Joseph there in close games. So if you are Nederland, you probably need to go out there and get that running game going, get Hubert Thomas going. But so far, so good for the Bulldogs, and this would be a huge, pretty seismic victory there in 5A Division II if they could pull it off.
It really would. A foot on the gas when you're going up against a rivalry like that where anything can change at the brink of a dime. All right, let's jump back in to game action here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. We take you out to North Shore and Atascocita. Atascocita with the ball here. Carde Mack going to take the snap, air it out.
Over the middle!
Ooh, man. Drops it right in the pocket.
CJ Tony on the catch. What a grab, and it's 23-13 Atascocita looking to snap an 8-game losing streak against North Shore and establish themselves as the Kings of Houston. If they can do this, plain and simple, what a first half here from Atascocita's offense there, and really Carde Mack, a dime there. Carde Mack to CJ Tony for the touchdown.
So we'll see if this extra point impending will be going down, but this really would, this would, in my opinion, be the cap or the feather in the cap to what so far has been an incredible regular season for Atascocita.
We've talked about Atascocita having the best resume in Texas, right? Wins at Katy, wins at Westlake, a win over Summer Creek. If they could add North Shore on it, they are undisputedly the team to beat, I think, in 6A.
But of course, none of that matters until you get to the playoffs. And boy, howdy, are we getting close to that, the best time of the year here in Texas high school football. All right, game action going on all across the state. Broadcasters to talk to, scores from across the state. We've got it all right here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. We're going to take a quick break, catch our breath. You do the same. Go get some queso. Go use the restroom. We'll see you right back here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. Want to talk Texas high school football with your two favorite dorks? Join television's Greg Tepper and Ashley Gizmo Pickle every Monday and Thursday at noon on TexasFootball.com. Texas Football Today, the flagship program of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. It's the same analysis, insight, review, and preview that you've come to know and love. Talking about Texas high school football and college football all across the Lone Star State.
In a college football world that's increasingly nationalized, Dave Campbell's Texas Football presents The Republic of Football, the only comprehensive podcast on all 13 college teams in Texas. Live every Tuesday at noon on the Dave Campbell's YouTube page, Twitter, Facebook pages, and publishing on Apple Podcasts and Spotify shortly thereafter. Host Ishmael Johnson leads the gang in discussing the biggest college football stories from the state. You get coverage of the SEC, Big 12, ACC, AAC, CUSA, and Sunbelt, but with a little Texas twist. No one has their finger on the pulse like senior college writer MC Mike Craven, staff writer Carter Yates, and everyone's favorite Malpal producer Mallory Hartley. Come spend your lunch break, your car ride, or gym session with the Republic of Football. Live on Tuesdays at noon at TexasFootball.com and published everywhere you get your podcast shortly thereafter.
Are you ready to kick off your Wednesdays with a fresh, fun, and fearless take on football? Tune in to Women Talking Football, hosted by the dynamic duo of Dave Campbell's Texan Live, Ashley Pickle, and Mallory Hartley. Every Wednesday at 12 p.m., join us on TexasFootball.com as we deep dive into every corner of the Lone Star State's football scene. From exclusive insights with coaches' wives to on-the-ground reports from across Texas, we've got the inside scoop you won't get anywhere else. Get ready for a game-changing experience where the ladies bring their A game and you might just find yourself saying WTF in the best way possible. Women Talking Football, where sports analysis meets sass and expertise. You can't miss it.
Want to go deep on Texas high school football? Check out Tep and Step, the premium high school football podcast from Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Each week, Greg Tepper and Matt Stepp take you inside Texas high school football like nobody else, breaking down the biggest games and the biggest storylines from all across the state. Want to know more about Texas high school football than the guy at your water cooler? Go to TexasFootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber so you can get Tep and Step in your podcast feed. Or tune in every Friday at noon at TexasFootball.com for premium insights from Texas high school football experts Matt Stepp and Greg Tepper. It's Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. Whip around coverage of the biggest Texas high school football games across the Texas high school football season. I'm Greg Tepper. Thanks for joining us on the internet. We got games going on across the state. Let's bounce down to the central Texas area where Lake Belton taking on Cedar Park. Let's go there, and Cedar Park's got the ball. Quarterback Eli Mascarenas. Or rather, Lake Belton's got the ball. Eli Mascarenas faked the bubble screen, fired down the seam, Ty Green in the end zone. It's a touchdown for the Broncos. But then it's Cedar Park with a response, as the screen pass is going to go to Noah Wallace. Here, he's going to wait for his blockers. Great patience and hit the Jets. Follow the big fella in. He's got a convoy in to knot this game up at 7. But more from Lake Belton. This time, Maverick Maddox is going to fake the handoff. Fire. Davion Peters across the middle for the score. Makes it 14-7 Lake Belton. But then, watch this bomb from David Cooper. Over the middle, Jamal Porter. Nobody's catching him from behind. It's 14 up, Cedar Park and Lake Belton in Central Texas.
How about we go to District 5?
Oh, one more play apparently.
No, let's not go there, actually.
She is going to fake the handoff up the middle. And once again, Maverick Maddox plunging in for the score. Lake Belton would have the 21-14 lead.
Now District 5, 6A. Louisville taking on Hebron. That is Trajan Mueller who punches it in across the goal line. 3 and out for Hebron. Next drive, the punt is up. It's muffled there by D'Angelo King. He scoops it up, doesn't let him affect him. Can he get it up all the way? Yes, he can. Touchdown there for Louisville. More special teams. We called it the year of special teams. This time it's Hebron. The punt is blocked. Who is going to pick it up? Hebron will. Big number 9 is going to say no. We're just going to stop it there. All right, ensuing drive. Williams drops back. He evades the free rusher. Can he get it in there? Yes, he can. High points the ball. That's Lorenzo Cruz to give Louisville the 29-0 lead over Hebron. Whew, that was I get super hyped over special teams.
Yeah, for sure. And especially when it's a district like 5-6A, because you know who's in District 5-6A.
Coppell Cowboys. All right, if you want to watch, if you want to watch a lot of the District 5, 6A teams, we've got most all of them on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. You can scan that QR code right there. It'll take you to TexanLive.com. Guys, the best week of Texas high school football is happening right now. We've got almost all of those games on Texan Live, so scan that QR code, go watch them, have a blast. And we're going to have a blast here because we now matriculate on to everybody's favorite, Greg Tepper.
Yes.
The quad box.
The quad box, but we're one of them, so we're the least exciting part of it. You see, I'll tell you a couple things to note. Westlake up on Lake Travis, they've got the ball back after Lake Travis had a touchdown run nullified by penalty. That's a real killer there for the Cavaliers. Atascocita North Shore driving on Atascocita last we saw. See if they can finish that off. As you see, Aledo breaking for daylight and closing the gap there to 28-21 between Richland and Aledo. Of course, Aledo has that very long district winning streak. They have won. Hold on, I've got this here somewhere.
125?
They've won 124 consecutive district games. Very good.
I was close.
124 consecutive district games, looking to make it 125. That will help their cause. But Richland certainly stomach for the fight. This is, of course, without their star running back, Michael Turner. But Richland playing hard on the road with a lead at Aledo. We will keep an eye on this one throughout the course of the evening because this will certainly be a seismic victory if Richland can pull it off.
And what an incredible kind of shift in play there for Richland, because when you have a superstar running back like Michael Turner that you can just rely on heavily, you've seen it tonight. They've been able to utilize their air attack to be able to continue the scoring.
You see Westlake fumbles the ball and Lake Travis picks it up, an opportunity to get a nice bounce back here. Chaston did a firing, missed his man there. Of course, it's so hard to pick apart this Westlake defense. They're so sound in their coverages that it's going to be tough sledding for Lake Travis's offense, which has been excellent all year long, but unable to connect with his man there was Chaston Dida. And yeah, you'd love to close this thing to 14-10 before half, because this is the kind of game where a 2-score lead, especially at the half, Westlake will just squeeze the life out of you. As you're going to see again, can they get the ball out on the screen? But they just swarm. They're so fast.
Okay, so the other thing that I find funny when we start talking about specifically games like this, and then go ahead and pencil in North Shore, Atascocita is another one of those teams that play in district, and it is likely, with history in mind, that there is potential that they would see each other in the regional finals again. How much, as a coach, do you show your cards in these games? Especially, this one obviously a little bit further apart than the North Shore Atascocita game, but say you're at a 1-score game, how much do you, as Chaston
missed his man, intercepted. Wow. You can't sail it on him. Westlake is going to make you pay if you make those types of decisions there. But no, I think you're exactly right, is that there's a chance that they play twice. Now, looking at the district standings, it does appear, does Bowie have a win over Austin High? I'm checking this right now. You're listening to live. Oh, wait, they play them at the end of the year. We're keeping an eye on that. If Austin Bowie doesn't make the playoffs, then certainly that would change things. But it does to me feel like Bowie's probably the favorite to get there. That could drop Westlake to Division II. So we'll still have to see where that goes. But Westlake, of course, with the big defensive stop there, as you're going to see now, North Shore firing down to the 1 there. But I got to be honest. This is a silly question. You talk for a second while I look something up.
Well, I was gonna say you brought up the spookiest name in Texas high school football.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, Arlington Bowie.
Stop it.
Are you shaking?
I am. That's not Caleb Bailey. That is they have as they plunge in. North Shore gets the touchdown run there from DeAndre Hardiman. Gets in for a touchdown there for the Mustangs to close it in. But that is the backup quarterback there in Caleb Maryland. Now, they've got a great backup quarterback. Caleb Maryland is the next big thing there for North Shore. But I was going to say, I was fairly certain. I've watched Caleb Bailey for 4 years now.
Yes.
I was like, he's number 15. He's not number 7. And I don't think he's changed his number. So that's something to monitor there. But North Shore punches it in to close the gap with the Tascasita between 23-19.
Yeah, that is definitely something of note as we'll continue to keep asking around and see what might have happened to Caleb Bailey there. So North Shore with the impending extra point, that one is going to be good and not that one up 23-20, down just a field goal here now. We look at Chapel Hill and Longview Pine Tree. But before we get to this one, as they get ready to snap the ball here, we also have scores that we will be checking into across the state of Texas, obviously checking into all these incredible games here right now as Pine Tree makes their way up the middle. Let's check in on some 1A Division II scores.
The Klondike game is final. They've drubbed the poor Mustangs of Wilson 81-0 tonight. Cherokee and Pawnee did not end 1-0. I will just tell you that was a forfeit. Pawnee, of course, relaunching their program. I know they're still struggling with numbers there. Iredell up on Copperell. Big game there between Zephyr and Blanket. Blanket is undefeated. They've got the strange, I think, 6-0-1 record. Benjamin up on Chillicothe and Motley County. If that game's not final, would not be a surprise there. Scan that QR code at the top right there to go to texasfootball.com/scores for all the scores across state. We can matriculate to 1A Division I scores while you scan that QR code. Abbott and Golston's a game we're keeping our eye on. Buena Vista down early to Garden City. Happy and Spring Lake Earth, a game up there in the Panhandle we are watching. And then Aquila and Penelope. Next week, Aquila and Abbott is a huge game in the Central Texas area. I expect Jonesboro and Whiteface to each be able to win over Lomita and Meadow, respectively. Can I tell you something about this Longview Pine Tree team, if we can bounce back to that game? I'm not sure if we can. I've been really impressed with what they've been able to do. Pine Tree's a team that was kind of off our radar. And if you remember back in week 1, they beat Gilmer. They beat Gilmer 22-15 on the road at Gilmer. And I think our immediate thought was, Gilmer, hangover, not able to, they're not going to be as good.
Right.
It turns out that Pine Tree's pretty darn good.
Oh, yeah.
And they follow that up with a win over Van. They follow that up with a win over Dallas Carter. They have been rolling. They have their one loss in the year. It's a narrow loss to Kilgore. But if they can win, they have a win over Henderson. If they can knock off Chapel Hill, they will essentially clinch their district a playoff spot, which is not easy to do in that district. You take a look at Division 9-4A Division 1. They can basically clinch a playoff spot with a win there. In fact, they can, because Lindale's 1-2 in district play. But you see just how evenly matched all those ball clubs are between Pine Tree, Chapel Hill, Henderson, and Kilgore. It's going to be a fight to the finish for all those teams.
All of Beast Texas has just been an absolute slugfest this year. But I mean, you take a look at what Jason Batchman has been able to do with this program. Last year, at 6-5, they had their first winning season in a long time, because before that, 2022, they were 2-8.
Yeah.
2021, 4-6. The defense has been what's been outstanding for this Longview Pine Tree team, and mainly led by linebacker Seth McFarland, which you want to talk about what we had our eye on tonight. Ricky Stewart versus Seth McFarland, that's box office stuff.
It's really, really good. And that's the thing. I think it's important to remember that, like, Pine Tree out there, largely throughout the course of their history, they have kind of occupied the slot as kind of like the also ran there in Longview. Like the Lobos, of course, are the name in town. They've just kind of been that other team. But Pine Tree this year, I think, has established themselves as arguably the premier team in the Longview area. I mean, respect to Longview, as you see Port Neches Groves with the ball there in Mid-County Madness, now out towards midfield, driving for the tie or the lead.
Well, and I think with Pine Tree, too, I think quarterback Matt Cates doesn't get enough credit.
Sure.
He's in his 3rd year as a starter here, and it's the connection that he has formed with his wide receiver, Jordan Taylor, that has been the key, I think, with this offensive attack that Pine Tree does have. It's not electrifying. They're not a team that's going to want to get in a big shootout, but against a team like Chapel Hill without Demetrius Brisbane, this is exactly the score that I thought we would be seeing. A low-scoring slugfest that is going to be who can come up with 1 to 2 splash plays to be able to massage this victory.
Yeah, as you see the other game down there, we're going to see if Pine Tree can punch this thing in and take the lead there late in the 2nd quarter on the road at Chapel Hill. That's certainly there. We're going to see Cates take the snap. And he's going to be in for the score. Longview Pine Tree takes the lead on Chapel Hill there in a big-time game in District 9 4A. The other game down there, Mid-County Madness, P&G and Nederland, one of the great rivalries in Texas high school football, the 101st meeting between these two teams, and the first meeting between these two coaches as Scott Rich took over there at Nederland. And one of the things we wanted to see, if we talked with Jay Dunson at halftime, the guy calling this game for Dave Campbell's Texan Live, and he said that neither team could establish the run. I think you can tell right now that Jeff Joseph told his team, guys, if we do nothing else in this game, we're going to establish the stinking run in the second half, and they're kind of going to work on this.
I think that's what you have to do here. You know that you're going up against two teams that are going to hit you. They're going to wear you out. And I think time of possession has a lot to do with this game. You're going to want to keep it. Both of these offenses can score.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. So time of possession is crucial in this. And the best way to maintain a healthy time of possession, especially in the second half, it's in a low score. Ooh, did
fumble?
Drop the ball. I think
we got it back, but I think
PNG
recovered it. But that game got spit out there by Tyson Henry. It was a great run there, but the sophomore coughed it up there at the end. Luckily for PNG, they were able to hold on to it. So, yeah, we're keeping an eye on this one. Mid-County Madness, PNG driving for the tie. We're here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight, dropping in on big games all across the state. Going to take a quick break, catch our breath, get a sip of water, and then we are going to be back with all of the live drop-ins, live whip-around coverage of Texas high school football in the Week 9 here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. Stick with us.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Texas Army National Guard are honored to present the Coach of the Week Award, celebrating one head coach in 7 different classifications. That's 6A all the way down to 6-man, and of course, private school every single week. Think your head coach deserves some recognition? Nominate them under our weekly Twitter and Facebook post. Those will come out Friday at 10:30 p.m., Saturday 8:30 p.m., and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. That's facebook.com/Dave Campbell's or at DCTF on Twitter. Thank you to Texas Army National Guard for helping spotlight the hard work and dedication of high school head coaches across Texas.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Ozarka will announce 7 Team of the Week winners for 14 weeks of the Texas high school football season from Class 6A down to 6-man, and including private schools. Head to texasfootball.com, go to the awards tab, and find Ozarka Team of the Week to see this season's winners and vote for your program to be named. Winners are announced every Wednesday on Twitter and Facebook.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Panini America are teaming up this season to honor the best high school quarterbacks across the state of Texas. 7 quarterbacks, 1 in each classification, 1A through 6A and private schools, will be named Quarterback of the Week and will receive a virtual Panini America trading card to commemorate their performance. Check out which outstanding quarterback was selected each Tuesday morning on the Dave Campbell's Twitter and Facebook pages.
Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take you. Baylor Scott and White Health, the power to live better.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Wing have selected 64 high schools in DFW to take part in a head-to-head online bracket challenge, showing their school pride and community spirit during the 2024 Texas high school football season. The winner will receive a $5,000 donation back to their school. We're currently in the Elite 8, which concludes November 1st. For more information on the challenge, go to texasfootball.com/most-spirited-school-challenge.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. I'm Greg Tepper here with my friend. I brought a friend, Ashley Pickle. There are games going on all across the state. Let's do a little bit of whip-around coverage. Some highlights coming in from the first half. Let's start in the DFW Metroplex, District of Doom, District 11, 6A, as DeSoto taking on Cedar Hill. This used to be a big-time rivalry, but DeSoto has dominated of late. Early on, Keldon Ryan's going to find Tiger Wright and Jr. for the touchdown there, puts DeSoto on the board first and more. This time, Ryan going to call his own number, take the snap, make a man miss, get in for the score. Touchdown DeSoto, they're up 21-0. Then Keldon Ryan again. This time, going to flush out to his left, decide to tuck it and run. He will power his way in for 6 as DeSoto keeps pouring it on. Then more from DeSoto. This time it's Johnson Cook with a big run there. It is all DeSoto in that one, 28-7.
Let's go Bryan and Temple. Brazos Valley and the Austin area as Champ Mayo finds Cade Stewart wide open for the Wildcats. He'll take it the distance off into the end zone. He goes. Champ Mayo again. Hits his man on a slant route right up the middle. It's Jack Flinticle as he breaks the tackle and gets sick. Now Boone Turner on the other side from Bryan. How about that bomb right up the middle past the tee he goes. Not a man in sight. Terrence Lewis on the reception. Woo! A lot of running there. Boone Turner back at it again, drops in the pocket and hits him again on the other long pass. This one, DeAndre Williams. He's bumped but not to be brought down.
Let's go to the Houston area. Cy-Fair taking on Cy Creek in District 17 6A action. Kason Blaylock looks for someone to throw. He slips and throws the football deep. It's Terrence Johns. What a catch. Touchdown Bobcats. Cy-Fair up early 7-0. Then Bledsaw passed it to Noah Williams, who's going to leap into the end zone for the score. Touchdown of Cy-Fair again, up 14-0. Then more from the Bobcats. Bledsaw play action. Under pressure. Rolls to his right. Fires. Chase Sanders on the other end of it. It's 21-0 Cy-Fair. Then more from Bledsaw. Dropping this one to Henry Brooks. 17-yard touchdown. Tap the helmets. 35-0 Cy-Fair.
We've got more highlights. Western Stark, Silsbee, Western Stark quarterback Marcus Turner. He's got a fire deep, jumps up. It's Jamichael Davis over the competition, and that man is off to the races. Puts Western Stark up early. Few teams get some stops there, okay? And then it's Western Stark back with the ball. Marcus Turner going to avoid being tackled there and drops an easy one to Jamar O'Neal to make it 14-0. Here's the ensuing kickoff. West Orange Stark, Jaden Miller there for Silsbee, going to take the reception. And ball is out. He fumbles, but don't worry. Western Stark, how about that? Back with their ball in their own side of the field. Turner again drops one. Can he make it pass? Yes, he can. How about that? Marcus Turner again. Not all the way into the end zone, though. Turner, perfect little screen pass there. How about that? Kelvie Jefferson finds the wide open one. It's 21-0 Western Stark.
Absolutely. It's Western Stark looking very good down there in Southeast Texas. Speaking of Southeast Texas, another big game we've got going on down in Southeast Texas is North Shore and Atascocita. Big game down there. That's correct. And I believe
that is correct. Before we get there, though, because these scores are going to blow your mind, potentially. How about we go check out 2A Division 2 as we take a look there. Sundown and Ropes. What about that one, Tepper?
Yeah, interesting to watch that. Ropes is relatively newly ranked, but we want to see exactly what happens on the road at Sundown tonight. Collinsville making short work of Era. Wellington up on the Fighting Irish of Shamrock. Deweyville all over West Hardin down there in Southeast Texas. Big game out there in East Texas. Mount Enterprise and Lovelady. Lovelady getting the better of them, and Windthorst, no surprise, up on Haskell. Let's go to 2A Division 1 scores. Reminder to scan that QR code to go to texasfootball.com/scores for all the scores across the state of Texas. The biggest game in the state in 2A is Panhandle and Sunray putting it on Panhandle at home, 41-27 there. Mason, another under-the-radar game. Mason making a statement, I think, against Holland. Very impressive there. Beckville and Hawkins, that's a surprising scoreline, if only because I thought Beckville might blow them away. Joaquin up on Timpson. Timpson, in danger legitimately of missing the playoffs. Keep an eye on that one. State-ranked Mildred having some trouble with Kearns early in that one, but Hawley, no trouble with Cisco in a big game in the big country.
All right, Greg Tepper, now it is time to go down to that slate of North Shore and Atascocita as we welcome in Gavin Moritz and Noah Allman, who were lucky enough to be on the call for this one. Guys, it looks like Atascocita up by just a hair in what has been an absolute slugfest. Gavin, first and foremost, what have you seen from the Eagles so far?
Well, Ashley, Atascocita started the game without Torrey Blaylock, kind of hurt earlier in the week. Maybe he wasn't practicing as much. He has not played a single snap tonight. So they've gone with Christopher Toney at running back, and Noah, Christopher Toney, he's ran hard. He's been impressive.
Oh, yeah, he started off a little slow in that first quarter, but since then he's turned on the jets, and he even trucked a guy. He looks great.
I want to ask you on the other side. I know for North Shore, we've been kind of bouncing in and out of coverage of this game's dropping in. It seems like offensively, some fits and starts here. I know the quarterback situation is kind of up in the air. What's going on with North Shore offensively in this one?
Well, North Shore is mainly, they've had a good balance, I'd say, of throwing with Caleb Bailey and running with DeAndre Hardeman Jr. The problem has been Atascocita has been able to pin them back pretty deep. Their starting field position hasn't been nearly as good as Atascocita's. The Eagles have started closer to midfield a good chunk of the time, and North Shore has been starting back as deep as inside their own 20 or even their own 15. And I think that's been a big difference and a reason why I think Atascocita is up by 3 at the half.
Yeah, they got to work a little bit harder, but honestly, it's close, and Bailey's looked good, and Maryland checked in, and he got them a touchdown too. So they keep churning. It's just been a back-and-forth game.
Gavin, one quick question here, because we noticed when we dove in at one point that it looked like Caleb Bailey actually wasn't under center for a portion. Was that just for a handful of plays, or can we expect to see him in the second half?
Yeah, that was just for a handful of plays. They brought in Caleb Maryland, who's a really good junior quarterback, holds an offer from UNLV. He kind of gets some substitution packages here and there for the Mustang offense. And I think Caleb Bailey, nothing really wrong there. I think it was just a substitution package getting down in the red zone and see what Maryland's got a little bit. I think we should expect to see Bailey back out there.
Great. Thanks, guys. We really appreciate your coverage down there from Turner Stadium. Enjoy the second half. Definitely wanted to check in on that just to see what we could expect, obviously, there with a potential injury that could be game-changing. But it makes sense. Maybe that's why their quarterbacks are so good. They give them a little taste of that tough pressure early on in their career.
Yeah, and Caleb Maryland's been a guy who the numbers, he's gotten a lot of garbage time numbers, you know what I mean? But obviously in a big game there. I will say this, and maybe I'm just spooked a little bit, okay? But like go back to the game against Summer Creek and go back to the game against Kingwood. Atascocita faded a little bit in the second half of those games. They're going to need to play their best half of the year if they're going to beat North Shore tonight. They're up at half, hang the banner, mission accomplished, 23-20, right? You won the first half, but if they're going to come out with a huge kind of 6A shaping victory over North Shore, they've got to finish here, and that has been something that second half has been a bit of a struggle for North Shore. Can they capitalize on that?
Well, and that's a big coaching thing when we get into this time of year too. You're 9 weeks in, you're tired, some teams are a little banged up, but playoffs are in the forefront, and once you get there, it's kind of that adrenaline going in the playoffs where you're going, oh, if we lose tonight, we go home. You've got to have that playoff. The good teams have that playoff mentality going at this point in the season. Guys, a district championship is on the line, and is that as crucial as playoffs? No, not at all, but it really is when it comes to seeding and getting that first home playoff game. That's all stuff that goes into this where you've got to be playing your best ball at this point on. These games, you can't start in the playoffs.
Absolutely. These games absolutely matter, and that's why this is such a huge week of Texas high school. The games are great, but it's the stakes that make it even bigger. So let's drop back into games across the Lone Star State here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. Of course, we'll go to P&G and Nederland. Of course, now Nederland extending their lead to 17-7, and for P&G, you got to think. I mean, I'm not ready to call it danger zone right now, but like they got to have a response. They got to have a response here because right now for Nederland, I'll just say this: I am overall, not a believer in momentum. I think momentum is kind of an overrated type of thing. But especially in high school football, what I am a believer in is confidence. And right now, if you're Nederland, you're taking on the #1 team in the state, on the road, the defending state champs, your arch rival, and you're able to start off 17-7, as you see Shadow Creek extending their lead over Pearland there with a touchdown, then I think if you're Nederland, you're brimming with confidence, and that bodes very well for the Bulldogs.
Well, and I'm very interested to see. Let's go through the amount of points that this Port Neches Groves team has put up: 39, 45, 49, 62, 24, 57, 37. They have not played a game
just forced another punt too,
where they have had to play from behind.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you respond when you're getting punched in the mouth, you're down by 2 scores, and you're going, okay, what has to change here?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. That is something that I think is going to be a real question here. And for Scott Rich and this Nederland program, they've kind of been dominated by P&G of late, and P&G has been the talk, obviously, as the defending state champs. They've been the team of record down there in Southeast Texas. This would be such a seismic victory for them if they can pull off, especially on the road at the reservation, which has been notoriously unfriendly to them. So for right now, if you're Nederland, you are looking here and saying, guys, I think if you're Scott Rich, you're going to your offense, you're saying, guys, we can put them in a bad way. We can take full command of this game here with a touchdown here. So for Nederland, a big drive coming.
Do you think the Scott Rich statue would be built tomorrow if in his first year he takes down Port Neches Groves?
See, Shadow Creek, a touchdown there. Even without their starting quarterback, the Sharks rolling over Pearland. Very impressive performance here there as Shadow Creek taking command of that game. And once again, I will say this, the P&G defense, it's been up and down. Like there have been times where they've struggled, but they are playing overall well enough to hold them in the game here. We'll bounce back to the Shadow Creek game. But this is a huge drive, I think, for Nederland. And I want to make sure I see where that drive ends up going.
I think you take a look at what Shadow Creek's been able to do on offense in this game, and my biggest question coming into this game was that how was Pearland's defense going to match up against the explosiveness of Shadow Creek? Because say what you will about their star quarterback being out. I understand, obviously, no team wants that. But, oh, wow, as Nederland gets a big seam on the edge. But say what you will about that. As we'll just actually stick here, but both offenses being explosive there at that point.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, so I was talking with Matt Stepp on Tep and Stepp, premium high school football podcast, TexasFootball.com.
Starring Vianney Moreno.
And we were talking about about Scott Rich, the head coach at Nederland. He's a Gary Joseph guy. He's a Katie assistant hired there at Nederland. And Stepp brought up the point. He goes,
Stepp brought up a lot of points.
You're gonna look at Nederland. You're gonna be like, they look like Katy, except they wear black and gold. And look at this. They're gonna get under center, single back, double tight formation, and there's gonna be a flag.
And I can guarantee you that either would have been a run play or it would have been play action. There
exactly
are no other options for how that offense operates.
And it's so funny because you've got Katy guys on both sidelines, right? Because obviously Jeff Joseph, the head coach of the P&G Indians. He's a guy that when we did the Gatefold cover shoot with him and his father, Gary Joseph, for Dave Campbell's Texas Football, we talked about how he's a guy, I still know the playbook. I still know the Katy playbook, because it's only 20-something plays. Because it just works. It works, and it's a culture thing. And so for Nederland, this would be such a proof of concept moment here if they were able to come out there here in double tight. We'll hand off to Hubert Thomas up the middle. He's got room. Hubert Thomas. Big run for Nederland and for P&G.
You're going to have to wake up on defense.
There are some people, I will tell you what, there are some people on the reservation wearing purple who are sweating right now, who are saying, uh-oh, this is not how this game was supposed to go.
All right, so this one getting very interesting. We're going to go over to our 3A Division I matchup, our marquee matchup that we've been looking for. Our very own Chase Snyder on the call for Hitchcock and Columbus. Chase, it looks like Columbus just barely ahead at halftime on this one. What have you seen from the Cardinals so far that has given them that literal 1-point edge heading into half?
Schobel has been fantastic, especially in the second quarter. This has been a very odd game. Columbus started down 13-0, Hitchcock coming ahead. When Lloyd Jones, Hitchcock quarterback, came out for a couple series, Schobel took advantage. Rigdon has been a little banged up. Haven't seen a lot of him in the second quarter. It's going to be something to monitor. But 14 unanswered points from Columbus after 13 unanswered for Hitchcock. I have no idea what's going to happen in the second half. It's anyone's best guess, but it's going to be pretty exciting.
I want to ask you a little bit about what we've seen from the Hitchcock side offensively. We know the star power they've got on that offensive side. You mentioned Lloyd Jones has been a little bit nicked up. How have they been able to move the ball on this Columbus defense so far?
They've been very effective getting to the perimeter. There's been a lot of screen passes going outside of Bruton and Kelshawn Johnson, as well as a lot of runs with Jones. And then when Marquise Allen has had to come in, they've had to run the ball with, Marquise Allen as well. So it's been a lot of, I'd say, dink and dunk, not a lot of deep shots, 5-6 yard chunk plays here and there. They've been able to move the ball effectively, especially in the first quarter. But defensively, the Hitchcock defense has been very good at getting a ton of pressure. There's been a lot going on around here. But 14-13, if the Hitchcock defense can get enough pressure on Schobel, they have a very good shot at this one. It's just draining some clock, getting out of this with a victory.
He's Chase Snyder, and he's got what I think is the game of the night down there. Chase enjoyed the second half, and yeah, obviously Lloyd Jones being nicked up would definitely be something to wonder about. But defensively, I mean, this is a game that I thought was. I was talking to my dad earlier this week. I was like, "Oh, shootout, absolute shootout. You want points? We got points." And that has not been the case so far.
Yeah, I'll tell you this: like the Hitchcock defense has been very good of late. After their first two games, they gave up like 42 points a game, but since then it's like 7 points a game. Their defense has been excellent, and the Columbus team, like the numbers I think are a little bit misleading. They have been ahead, like way ahead of everybody, and I think kind of taking their foot off the gas defensively. These two defenses, I think, are kind of underrated. I will say this. I mentioned that if Columbus wins this game, I'm ready to install them as clearly the team to beat in 3A Division I with respect to Malakoff, the defending state champs. If Hitchcock can pull off this game, then I think that we have a real conversation about what 3A Division I looks like, because Hitchcock will certainly be, in that conversation in 3A Division I. And by the way, this is 3A Division I Region 3. We're not even mentioning Franklin, which is the team that's played in the last 4 state championship games in 3A Division I. So a lot to sort out there, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Franklin has never not, I know that's a double negative there, never not been to a state championship game under the direction of head coach Mark Fannin in 4 years. Okay, so they're never, ever someone to count out on that one.
Let's bounce back down to Mid-County Madness. Nederland taking on P&G. Nederland driving with the lead and the ball, and it's Aiden Sunday going up top. Did he tap the toe? Oh, they're going to rule him out?
No.
Oh, rule of cool, man.
Cool, dude.
Rule of cool. You got to have that one.
55 didn't like that they didn't honor the rule of cool either.
I didn't. Yeah, to me, that's got to be there. So Nederland on the doorstep here, looking to take command of this game here. Already up 17-7. Again, this game at Port Neches Groves against the undefeated #1 team, defending state champs there in PNG. And so we will see if they can punch this thing in. Nederland, of course, line up, double tight set. They've got 3 tight ends out there. Handoff Hubert Thomas off right side. Gets to the pylon.
Man.
Touchdown Nederland. And the Bulldogs have stormed into Groves and making a statement in Mid-County Madness. A 17-point lead in the second half against the #1 team and defending state champs in 5A Division II. Goodness.
That was too easy. If you're P&G and looking on the defensive side, you have to. Hubert Thomas has been the man that's put on the cape every single week for Nederland. You have to game plan knowing that they are going to let him operate. Yeah. And when you're that close in the end zone, you cannot let that man go realistically untouched.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, and I believe they're going to be the touchdown is good. Looks like it's after the play. They're going to enforce on the kickoff. There. Take a look at the 8-5A Division II standings. This is exactly what this game means. They're at the time. Port Neches Groves and Nederland up at the top, both undefeated in district play. The winner of this game, at the very least, the heavy favorite to win the district championship and get that number 1 seed. They're in 8-5A Division II. And here's the thing.
Yep.
I
pointed at you right when you pointed at me. If Port Neches Groves does in fact end up losing this game, not only is that significant, basically solidifying the fact that Nederland would be the district championship, that also means that we could get Port Neches Groves and South Oak Cliff in the area round of the playoffs.
That's round 2. That's the second round.
In the second round of the playoffs.
A state championship rematch in the second round of the playoffs would be, as a famous man once said, crazy town banana pants.
That it would, and this is why we love UIL realignment. Excited to see what happens there. All right, we're going to take a quick break, catch our breaths. We will see you right after this for more Friday night action on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight.
Takis is the presenting sponsor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Sustainability Champions Award, spotlighting influential kids looking to pursue a career focused on social, environmental, and economic well-being for our future. Be sure to check out this week's Spotlight Game of the Week, where we'll be spotlighting 2 Sustainability Champions Award winners. Thank you to Takis for your support of the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Sustainability Champions Award. For more information, visit texasfootball.com.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football is proud to partner with Sport Tyler to award the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week, which recognizes the top offensive player in Division I college football, who also exhibits the enduring characteristics that define Earl Campbell: integrity, performance, teamwork, sportsmanship, drive, community, and tenacity. It all leads up to the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award, announced in January. Congratulations to this week's winner of the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week. For more information, visit earlcampbellaward.com.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Higginbotham have teamed up to find the most driven team in Texas. This fall, 10 finalists will be highlighted throughout the season, with 1 student athlete from each team receiving the Most Driven Scholar Athlete Award for their leadership in the classroom, along with $1,000 in tuition assistance. In November, all 10 communities will rally to vote on TexasFootball.com, competing for the title of the most driven team in Texas. The school that rallies the most online votes will receive a $10,000 donation to their school, thanks to the support of Higginbotham. To learn more, visit TexasFootball.com/mostdriventeam.
Hey DFW residents, get your grocery essentials in minutes, not hours or days, with Wing Drone Delivery. Forget about last-minute trips to the store when you need things like cereal for breakfast before school, medicine for a cold, or snacks for a movie night. Wing's drones get you quick, no-contact delivery in as fast as 15 minutes. Say goodbye to last-minute grocery runs and say hello to more of your valuable time. Sign up today.
I believe in this community, and I believe in the kids that are in it, and I believe in the products that we're putting out, which are those students being successful in life. I've been teaching 28 years, and now I'm working beside some of the students that I used to have.
I'm sitting here because of Dane Robinson. He's so invested into what we do here.
Looking back, anything that we could have done that inspired that kid to help become who they are in the world, I think we're making a difference.
Welcome back in to Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. The party keeps on going. How about we get you straight into some highlights from some Friday night action? We take you down to the greater Austin area. It's Gonzales taking on Wimberley. After the early field goal, that's Gonzales running back Aiden Ramirez who would get the score there. And then how about this? Cody Stover airs it out finds the man. It's Nola Waldia for the long touchdown pass. Then Cody Stover continues to be incredible. He wears the cape and dives into the end zone for a rushing touchdown for the Texans. Then Wimberly again. Guess what? You heard this guy before. Cody Stover takes the snap, hands it off, and in for the touchdown. That's 24-10, Wimberly up.
Stay in the Austin area. Buda Hayes taking on Austin Anderson. Anderson quarterback Matt Gerlich drops back, finds Zayden Sharp in for the touchdown. That puts Anderson up early. Then the ensuing kickoff. Okay, there's the kickoff. Marcel Burks is going to catch it, is going to haul it in, and he will break a tackle off the left side and hit the Jets. Oh! Will not be denied. He will take it all the way back for a game-tying touchdown. It is a big special teams play for Hayes to knot this bad boy up. Then later in the quarter, Anderson back at it. Gerlich again drops back, fires. It's a kind of a deep corner there to Sharp again, his second touchdown of the game. Then Gerlich again, this time finding Tristan Waladek. Gonna haul it in stride, his third touchdown of the game. Hayes looking for a response. They'll get it on the ground, this time in the form of Anthony Hernandez. Follows blockers, cut it back to the inside in for the touchdown. Cut the lead to 7, but more from Hayes. Looking to tie Dakota Ames, their quarterback. Looking, fires, splits the safeties, gets his man Kenneth Gonzalez. 2-point conversions, no good. It's 21-20 Anderson at the break. There, as we've got games going on all across the state. Let's go back to Mid-County Madness, the game we're keeping an eye on, P&G and Nederland. Nederland in control in this one, but P&G needing a response. Connor Bailey looking, firing, London Nunley hauls it in, takes it in for the score. Nederland closes the gap, 24-14. There in at the reservation there in Natchez.
And that's what you got to do, man. Don't ever count them out. They have a way, especially on the offensive side of the ball. This is a high-flying team. Let them just That's when Jeff Joseph looked at him in that huddle and said, guys, go back to doing what we've been doing.
About 10 seconds left in the third quarter here as we're going to go to the fourth quarter, almost certainly 24-14 there between Nederland and P&G. We'll see the extra point here to make sure it's 24-14. And it's good. So there you go. 24-14 there at Mid-County Madness, the 101st meeting between those two arch rivals. As you see, Pearland plunging in for a touchdown there to close the gap. 27-14 might be a little bit too late for the Oilers, but see if they can pull even with Shadow Creek. Let's go to 3A scores, shall we?
Yeah, I'm all down for 3A scores.
A couple big games, 3A Division II we're keeping an eye on. Holiday up on Wichita Falls City View. Holiday jumped out to a big lead. Scored on their first 4 possessions to really take it to City View there in the second half there in Wichita Falls. Blanco up on Lexington. Jacksboro up on Henrietta. Big game down there on the coast. Tidehaven and Rice consolidated, 2 teams that used to be ranked, kind of duking it out for district supremacy. And then that game right there, Grand Saline and Lone Oak is, believe it or not, a matchup of unbeatens. Grand Saline undefeated for the first time since basically time immemorial, and Lone Oak off to a fantastic start as well, but Grand Saline getting the better of the Buffaloes so far. Let's go to 3A Division I scores. Scan that QR code at the top right to keep an eye on that one. Teague up on Palestine Westwood. It's been a dramatic week in Palestine Westwood, but this game will count for Westwood. They are without their head coach, Richard Bishop, suspended for the remainder of the season by the UIL. Edna and Goliad is a slugfest down there in South Texas, but Edna up early in that state-ranked matchup.
How about District 13 3A Division I?
Is that Atlanta up on Tatum?
Llano Yellow Jackets vying for the district championship against the Rohawks of Universal City Randolph. That one all knotted up at 14.
Can I just tell you something?
Sting 'em?
Can I just tell you something? Scan that, 2 things. 1, scan that QR code at Texas to go to texasfootball.com/scores.
2, sting 'em.
For all the scores across state. 2, I think it's extremely unprofessional for you to talk about your own alma mater like that.
Oh yeah, how many times have you said a cowboy fight never dies?
I've literally never said that on this program. That, like, you can't find the tape of that. That is slanderous. I don't appreciate that.
Goodness.
Quad box it. Lake Travis knocking on the doorstep there as Richland once again. Okay, a lot going on right now.
It looks like Hitchcock
so Lake Travis just
there.
scored. Chasten did a Goodson for the touchdown there to close it within 14-9. some guy standing in the way in Columbus and Hitchcock.
Yeah, I believe our
Sit down!
Come on, dude. We're on TV. Thank you.
Richland. How about Richland extending the lead to 2 scores against Toledo, and then P&G has forced a punt there for Nederland. They've got the ball down 10 in the fourth quarter, right around midfield there. We will keep an eye on that one as it's all happening right now. It's happening right now, guys.
But see, this is the beauty of the quad box is you can watch it all happen at once. You would have missed all of that if you weren't part of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight.
Extra point up and good there with Lake Travis and Westlake as P&G now trying to claw back into it in the form of the running game.
There we go.
As Richland now, I believe, going for the extra point to make it to try to make it 35-21. And I'm not ready to put it on upset watch quite yet because I've watched enough Aledo football in my life.
The moment you say that is when Racing Guillory goes 99.
That's exactly right. So I'm not going to call it, but just keeping an eye on that. That is notable. As North Shore, they're back in action there in the third quarter, down 3 points to Atascocita in another big, heavy-hitting matchup as Caleb Bailey designed run off the left side, picks up a first down there as North Shore starting to churn on the ground.
Our producer, Mallory Hartley's getting chippy in our ear because she said that she thought that the Richland game could end up like this. I just got a very loud in my ear.
Yeah, she does that.
She do be doing that.
This is Texas Football Tonight. We are bouncing around the games all across the state. Up here, you got Atascocita, North Shore, number 2 versus number 4.
Now we're
up
pointing in the quad
Up here, you got the West.
You got to get better at your directions.
I know. I gotta be a weatherman. Westlake and Lake Travis, and then down here is Mid-County Madness, P&G, and Nederland there. As it looks like Nederland might be coming up with a big defensive stop there. That's huge. Huge if they can get the ball back there in the fourth quarter as the Bulldogs making it happen. DeAndre Hardiman there for North Shore breaking the tackle. A lot going on. High school football is happening right now, like in all these boxes. You see them?
We told you this was going to be one of the best weeks of the year. And I mean, look, we're knotted up at 3 here. Richland and Aledo is
you got 3 one-score games.
Probably one of
Nederland and P&G is the only non-one-score game, so I would say that's pretty good.
And yet we just saw P&G now again with the ball.
By the way, that's bowing up from Nederland. They give up a touchdown and then have to punt for that defense to come back out and stand on its head and come up with a big stop. I think it's huge.
And that's what they've been doing all season long, man. That defense is lethal.
Absolutely. As Nederland now returned the punt there, flag on the play. North Shore, there's Caleb Bailey plunging. As you see, Shadow Creek and Pearland. One of the things that I'm really impressed with, I've mentioned this before, Shadow Creek is without their starting quarterback, Joseph Stewart, who is out with an injury, and they are still doing this to Pearland. I think that's awfully, awfully impressive from the Sharks. As Westlake back to work there in the top right there against Lake Travis, getting that ground game going there as well.
I got to say, man, we talk a lot about the great work that the Tasso officials do, especially in a game like Nederland and P&G when emotions are running high. Not from the team necessarily, but just from the communities with so much. You know that they're going into that with the earplugs in and ready to just call a big physical game. But the officials, we got to give a good shout out there to our official friends at Tasso.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? We could quad box it, or I do want to see, could we focus in on this North Shore Atascocita drive? Because I think there's a really critical drive here for North Shore. Here in the second half, this is a team that Atascocita has struggled in the second half a little bit, and for North Shore, now driving for the lead, Caleb Bailey handing off DeAndre Hardiman. Not a ton of room there as Atascocita's defensive front bowing up in this one.
Which is funny that you say that they've struggled in the second half, which is absolutely true, but we've also seen them be able to hold off teams in the second half. They always find some way to get that nitty-gritty win, whether it was against Humble Summer Creek when they completely laid down, and then right in the fourth quarter. They've been good in the fourth quarter. It's the third quarter, and this will be the telltale sign of this.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a very big drive, and yeah, I don't want to produce from the chair here, but if we could listen in, I'd love to listen in on the call here from Gavin Ritz for a little bit. I don't have the audio. We'll work on that and see if we can do that. As Caleb Bailey looking, he will scramble and pick up about 5. That's how dangerous he is, and that's a 4-year starter. That's a 4-year starter there, a guy who the play kind of breaks down and he's still able to go and pick up about 4 or 5 yards and kind of keep this drive moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and I'm very interested to see if they can get this here because this is going to be that big when you come out after halftime. This is you almost don't, I wouldn't say it's the most crucial score But this would be, in the length of time that they've been doing this drive, would be very disappointing to not come out with some sort of point.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that they're moving the ball, they're driving, they're now deep in Atascocita territory. You feel like you need to come away with a couple points. But I will tell you this. This is the formation that when I think of Atascocita or North Shore offense, I think of that. 2 running backs in the backfield and DeAndre Hardiman powering forward close to a first down, it looks like. I think he might have needed the 19 for a first down. Yeah, looks like he's going to be about a yard short, and I think this is a go down. I think this is 4th down now, and I would presume this is a go down here for North Shore, bringing the heavy package. We're going to see. You're watching Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. We are keeping an eye on one of the biggest games in the state, North Shore Atascocita, the Houston game of record there at Turner Stadium. We're going to keep an eye on that one as you see Shadow Creek. Touchdown there for Shadow Creek. That's church right there. That's it.
Yeah, you've got to start thinking this is a Pearland team that has relied so heavily on their defense. That offense can keep up, but if Shadow Creek was going to get this into a high-scoring shootout, which they're doing, it was going to be a difficult matchup for Pearland.
Yeah. Design quarterback keeper there for North Shore as Caleb Bailey gets the first down and keeps that drive alive. And this is this is what North Shore does, is that they wear on you and they lean on you, those big hog mollies up front. And that's something to this is a vintage East Side drive here from North Shore. And for Atascocita, you feel like they're going to need a big defensive splash play to capitalize. Swing out the outside, pick up a couple yards there. We haven't even mentioned some of the receivers. They've got guys like Quanell Farrakhan, guys like Dion DeBlanc. They've got playmakers on the outside. We're focused so much on Hardiman in the running game that this North Shore offense is so lethal in all aspects.
Well, and I think a portion of that comes from Caleb Bailey being such a dual threat. We know that he's been able to sling it, and so sometimes the wide receivers get a little bit forgotten about. But his ability to see gaps and take off sprinting has always been the thing that's impressed me the most in his quick decision making. And so the run game is hard not to focus.
Fumble!
Oh no, an uncharacteristic mistake there of just straight up miscommunication on that one.
That's the big play Atascocita's defense needed to get off the field, and a huge play from the Atascocita defense pouncing on that one to take over, hanging on to that 3-point lead. Wow.
That one feels like one that could end up looking back and being the turning point of that one. All right, we're going to keep it going here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, bringing you the best whip around coverage that you can find on a Friday night. And now it's time. We love the quad box, don't get me wrong, but for my actual favorite segment
is whenever we get to talk about football. She and I, just one-on-one.
How about the Cruton Corner with our Director of Recruiting, the better Greg Powers. This one focusing, we're going hot, we're going fast. Some of the top speedsters in Texas high school football. We'll hit a break after that and then be right back here with game action across the state. Stick with us. Here's the Cruton Corner.
Welcome back into the Cruton Corner, where it's week 9 here in Texas high school football. And we've talked about some of the top stars at each position throughout the state. But this week, we're going to concentrate on some of the speed demons. And these are the guys who really tick all the boxes and have that track speed that's going to truly make them special at the next level. And you've had your eyes on Humble, Atascocita, and North Shore this week. And North Shore is home to one of the fastest players in the state, regardless of position, and that's linebacker Charles Ross. At 6'1", 200 pounds, Ross is a linebacker highlighted by win-legal 10.36 100-meter sprint speed. Originally playing safety, Ross was moved in the box, and that transition sparked his recruitment, and he's now committed to LSU. He possesses a versatile skill set that allows him to cover sideline to sideline with plenty of coverage ability. Ross is also an effective blitzer, capable of redirecting to chase down agile quarterbacks and running backs. His blend of speed and a high football IQ makes him one of the most dynamic players in the state, regardless of position. Checking in at number 2 on the list is Spring Decaney wide receiver Tanook Hines. I give him the advantage because he's not only fast in the 100-meter dash, he also possesses an otherworldly 200-meter time at 20.71 seconds. That is flying. That speed highlights his overall athleticism, but he also brings plenty of size to the table at 6'1", 185 pounds. So he has a great combination of size and speed that makes him special. It's no wonder USC head coach Lincoln Riley is thrilled about his future for the Trojans. Hines combines track speed with great hands, making him a nightmare for opposing secondaries. At number 3, I'm going to hit you with a little bit of a sleeper, and that's Argyle Liberty Christian Quentin Brown. Brown is drawing comparisons to current Boise State star Ashton Genty, and for good reason. The 5'8", 155-pound running back is also committed to Boise State, and he brings plenty of explosiveness, evidenced by his 10.35 100-meter time and his 6.84 indoor 60-yard dash. Brown's speed and quickness make him a serious threat in the open field and between the tackles. Could he be the next DFW area running back to take college football by storm? You're just going to have to stay tuned. Just like you should stay tuned to the Cruton Corner every week right here on Texas Football Tonight.
Want to talk Texas high school football with your two favorite dorks? Join television's Greg Tepper and Ashley Gizmo Pickle every Monday and Thursday at noon on TexasFootball.com. Texas Football Today, the flagship program of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. It's the same analysis, insight, review, and preview that you've come to know and love. Talking about Texas high school football and college football all across the Lone Star State.
In a college football world that's increasingly nationalized, Dave Campbell's Texas Football presents the Republic of Football, the only comprehensive podcast on all 13 college teams in Texas. Live every Tuesday at noon on the Dave Campbell's YouTube page, Twitter, Facebook pages, and publishing on Apple Podcasts and Spotify shortly thereafter. Host Ishmael Johnson leads the gang in discussing the biggest college football stories from the state. You get coverage of the SEC, Big 12, ACC, AAC, CUSA, and Sunbelt, but with a little Texas twist. No one has their finger on the pulse like senior college writer MC Mike Craven, staff writer Carter Yates, and everyone's favorite Malpal producer Mallory Hartley. Come spend your lunch break, your car ride, or gym session with the Republic of Football. Live on Tuesdays at noon at TexasFootball.com and published everywhere you get your podcast shortly thereafter.
Are you ready to kick off your Wednesdays with a fresh, fun, and fearless take on football? Tune in to Women Talking Football, hosted by the dynamic duo of Dave Campbell's Texan Live, Ashley Pickle, and Mallory Hartley. Every Wednesday at 12 p.m., join us on TexasFootball.com as we deep dive into every corner of the Lone Star State's football scene. From exclusive insights with coaches' wives to on-the-ground reports from across Texas, we've got the inside scoop you won't get anywhere else. Get ready for a game-changing experience where the ladies bring their A-game and you might just find yourself saying WTF in the best way possible. Women Talking Football, where sports analysis meets sass and expertise. You can't miss it.
Want to go deep on Texas high school football? Check out Tep and Step, the premium high school football podcast from Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Each week, Greg Tepper and Matt Stepp take you inside Texas high school football like nobody else, breaking down the biggest games and the biggest storylines from all across the state. Want to know more about Texas high school football than the guy at your water cooler? Go to TexasFootball.com and become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber so you can get Tep and Step in your podcast feed. Or tune in every Friday at noon at TexasFootball.com for premium insights from Texas high school football experts Matt Stepp and Greg Tepper.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Texas Army National Guard are honored to present the Coach of the Week Award, celebrating one head coach in 7 different classifications. That's 6A all the way down to 6-man, and of course, private school every single week. Think your head coach deserves some recognition?
Nominate them under our weekly Twitter and Facebook post. Those will come out Friday at 10:30 p.m., Saturday 8:30 p.m., and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. That's facebook.com/Dave Campbell's or at DCTF on Twitter. Thank you to Texas Army National Guard for helping spotlight the hard work and dedication of high school head coaches across Texas.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Ozarka will announce 7 Team of the Week winners for 14 weeks of the Texas high school football season from Class 6A down to 6-man, and including private schools. Head to texasfootball.com, go to the awards tab, and find Ozarka Team of the Week to see this season's winners and vote for your program to be named. Winners are announced every Wednesday on Twitter and Facebook.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Panini America are teaming up this season to honor the best high school quarterbacks across the state of Texas. 7 quarterbacks, 1 in each classification, 1A through 6A in private schools, will be named Quarterback of the Week and will receive a virtual Panini America trading card to commemorate their performance. Check out which outstanding quarterback was selected each Tuesday morning on the Dave Campbell's Twitter and Facebook pages.
Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take you. Baylor Scott and White Health, the power to live better.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Wing have selected 64 high schools in DFW to take part in a head-to-head online bracket challenge, showing their school pride and community spirit during the 2024 Texas high school football season. The winner will receive a $5,000 donation back to their school. We're currently in the Elite 8, which concludes November 1st. For more information on the challenge, go to texasfootball.com/most-spirited-school-challenge.
All right, and welcome back in to Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight as we get you right into score updates across the state. Checking out Class 4A Division II. How about Pleasant Grove up 21-3 over the third-ranked Gilmer Buckeyes? A massive East Texas matchup where John Gibson and his Pleasant Grove Hawks not scared to show that they're ready for the fight. Sitting having their way with Ingleside. A big one as Don Hyde's Waco La Vega Pirates up big on the 6th-ranked Robinson Rockets. Mineral Wells getting blanked by Graham. West Orange Stark up big on Silsby. That would be huge for Coach Hiawatha Hickman and his squad. And then Waco Connolly having their way with Lorena. We want to remind you, scan that QR code up at the top. It takes you to texasfootball.com/scores as we matriculate on to 4A Division I. Salina, the Bobcats, not someone you want to mess with. They are absolutely rolling. Stephenville up on the Badgers of Lampasas. How about Bay City, the Black Cats, going up on the 3rd-ranked El Campo Ricebirds? That would be a huge district championship deciding game there. Canyon Randall down massively to Canyon West Plains. A shocker out there in West Texas. Aubrey up on the Falcons of Lake Dallas, and then Dallas Kimball up on Wilmer Hutchins. There's some score updates in 4A. We welcome you back into Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. And guys, I finally did it. I got rid of all the men, all the nonsense, and it's time for the Pickle Power Hour, okay? I'm excited to be with you here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, riding solo, but don't you worry. It is the best week of Texas high school football, and we've got some crazy games to get into. So enough of my yapping. Let's get on into it. As we head on out to everyone's favorite, the Quad Box. Let's reset here in the Pickle Power Hour as we take you in Pearland and Shadow Creek and their electrifying offense without their starting quarterback having their way with Pearland. We've been looking forward to the upper right-hand corner, Columbus and Hitchcock. It seems like Grayson Rigdon is out for Columbus, but Lloyd Jones III has had that Hitchcock offense operating as they now have the ball, as trying to extend their lead there on their home turf. You look down there in the bottom right-hand quarter, Barbers Hill and Galveston Ball in a crucial district matchup that's only being decided right now in the third quarter by 1 point. And then, of course, how about this one in the DFW? Richland just now getting the interception from the Aledo Bearcats. If you were unfamiliar with the stakes of this one, obviously this one could be taking down Aledo for what could be their district championship solidifying game. That being said, Aledo on a 124 game district winning streak. To put that into perspective, that is 17 years. I was 10 years old when Aledo lost their last district matchup. Richland now in the third quarter and the ball back after a crucial interception in Bearcat territory, able to continue this lead. We will go ahead at this time and take you out to announcer audio out at Bearcat Stadium.
Third quarter. Yeah, that time, and Aledo's made an adjustment here. They're keying on Cates trying to run the ball. So Ben Mackery is kind of sitting there a little outside the box, and as soon as he sees it pulled down, he is blitzing inside, trying to stop it before he can get going.
Cates has rushed for 91 yards, another high snap. He has to hold up, but then he has it able to take it and run up the field, and he slides for a first down to the Richland 42-yard line after that pickup of 8 yards and a Richland first down.
Yes, more of the same. I mean, Cates is dropping back. He has no intention of passing the ball, though. He's just waiting for that center to open up, and that time is on the right side. He found the lane there, and he takes off and picks up the easy first down.
He is 6 foot, 190 pounds, a senior, and, of course, the oldest son of Jed Cates, the head coach of Richland. So he's grown up around football all of his life. First and 10 at the 42-yard line, last few seconds, too, of the third quarter. Cates, high snap, but will take it, and he'll run over to the right side, breaks a tackle, gets to about the 49-yard line, and that's a good run of about 6 yards for him to the 48-yard line, and that will probably bring us to the end of the third quarter, where Richland, trying to capitalize on the Aledo turnover, the Bearcats unfortunately turned it over in the red zone on Richland's side of the field. And the third quarter.
All right, appreciate our guys at Hank FM down there in the Aledo area for bringing us that one. A district win streak on the line. You're not going to want to change your channel on that one. Let's go ahead now, and that one obviously a huge battle in 5A. Let's go ahead and check out some 5A scores across the state. And we take you out to those scores here now. That one, a huge game. We start off in 5A Division II. Alamo Heights having no problem with McCollum. Lubbock Cooper getting pushed there by Wichita Falls Memorial. A very good Memorial squad, if I may add. Lovejoy and Prosper Walnut Grove. This one, only a 2-point difference. Brenham not having any problem with Colleen Ellison. Del Valle from El Paso taking on Andreas 35-7. And then Frisco Emerson. This would be a very, very nice bounce back for a Frisco Emerson team that is playing Melissa, vying for a playoff spot. This was a team that made it to the state semifinals in 5A Division II last year. In only their second year as a varsity program, Coach Kendall Miller now trying to have his team round this one off. If they could beat Melissa, they can secure that 4th playoff spot. If not, it might get dirty. You can go ahead and scan that QR code, and it'll take you to texasfootball.com/scores. Let's go back out to game action here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. You look up there, Pearland trying to close that gap a little bit against a Shadow Creek squad that has shown just how electrifying that offense is. Our Columbus and Hitchcock score still the same. Columbus still down by a score there. Hitchcock still with the ball trying to move it down. Richland getting out of trouble. He's going to drop that one off. Couldn't find a man out there. That Aledo defensive attack continuing to be one of the best in the state. You look down there as Galveston Ball will take it all the way, extending their lead in a crucial drive down the field to, no, not extending their lead, rather, 24-23, now taking the lead. If that one's going to stand, looks like the officials making their way out onto the field. We'll see what they end up calling. Looks like that one's going to be called back. But, guys, this is a Galveston Ball team that, of course, has the guy in Jonah Williams. He has been just electrifying. The 5-star can do so much, and we've seen him single-handedly be able to take over games. And we'll see if right now he can end up doing that one. Again, that one a critical matchup for district contention. This one should be for the district championship. We look down as Richland is continuing to try and make their way down Aledo's front. Going back to what I was saying earlier with that one is that this Aledo defense doesn't get enough credit. Woo, Lake Travis. Here we see, as we're taking a look back now at the game that could decide the championship for Westlake and Lake Travis. As you get the big old LT flag flying there, we watch the replay. Chasten Dida able to just drop another one there, and that's what makes him so explosive. He's got a bevy of weapons that he can hit, but between that and the balance attack from him and Van Hopping, it has been a lethal offensive attack that you don't want to mess with. We take you back out to this absolute banger. Richland up 35-28, looking like it's getting pushed back there. Let's go ahead and head out to the guys on Hank FM to hear what's going on in this one.
Call it 13. I mean, the Bearcats have got it. Go ahead. You were going to say.
Aledo's fortunate in that situation because they honestly could have called Aledo for the offsides there. It looked like they were in the neutral zone when that offensive lineman moved, and that a lot of times that can be called encroachment.
Cates to throw now, will take off and run, and he's sandwiched right around the 47-yard line as Timon Meeks and Talon Foreman were there on the stop. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 11 coming up for Richland after the pickup of 2 yards here. The Bearcats have got to get the Royals off the field.
Yeah, this is when, Brody Adams, Cooper Cyphers, they got to find a way to get off the edge and get back there and get some pressure on Cates. You can't let him sit back there and pick you apart.
Richland 5 of 11 on 3rd down. High snap for Cates. Pressure's on. Now has to roll to the right. Now will take off. And now he's bangled up, and he's absolutely dropped at the 49-yard line as Timon Meeks was there on it on that loss of 3. Again, the snap was not great, and that's been disrupting the timing here a little bit for Richland on some of these offensive plays. But the Bearcats get the stop they needed.
Yeah, that was a huge play there for the defense. Great coverage in the back end there as well. That really forced Cates to try to buy a little time, roll out to his right. He's kind of hobbling a little bit as well. So it was a good job at him. Once he saw there was nothing open downfield, he just tried to tuck it and run. There was nothing there. Great job by the Aledo defense to force the punt. Now the offense has got to go back out there and respond.
And because Cates kind of got bumped up a little bit, he kind of has to walk off the field. So his younger brother, Brett, is now the punter in this. Remember, Drew has been the punter for this team throughout the game, and Brett has punted a couple times. The younger brother, he's a sophomore, but he will punt this time in lieu of his brother, who kind of got banged up on that play. Lamel Swanson will stand at his 25-yard line here as we will run under 10 minutes to play. It's a bad snap, but he's able to pick it up, does Cates, and he kicks it high in the air, and it'll be a fair catch called for and made by Lamel Swanson, who gets absolutely crushed by the downfield lineman, the downfield cover by Xavier Johnson. And 3 flags come in on this, and that's going to be that's an easy kick-catch interference call.
All right, so there we go. Richland continuing to try and do the unthinkable and in the longest active district winning streak in Texas high school football. Checking back into the quad box now as Pearland takes a shot in the end zone and wasn't able to get it complete, and that is something that Shadow Creek will do. We talk so much about their offensive weapons and just how lethal they are. Well, that also translates over to defense. Some of the historically in the short time that Shadow Creek has been a program, you've got to remember this is a program that started just in 2012 under the direction of head coach Brad Butler, was able to go play in 2 separate state championships, winning one of those against Denton Ryan in 2019. And they have been a program now in just their 2nd head coach in program history that in Alvin ISD has made an immediate impact. They were obviously down there in 5A Division I when they won the state championships, moved on up into 6A, had some fits, but now finally starting to find their footing. And a big portion of that has always relied on their defensive backs in the way that they are able to have lockdown coverage. And Pearland is definitely feeling the effect of that tonight. All right, so there we go. We checked in on that one in the greater Houston area. We've got games happening all across the state, okay, not just the ones that we're showing you right now. So go ahead, let's scan this QR code. This will take you to TexanLive.com/subscribe. It's $49.99 for a full year, guys. That's over 1,900 UIL sporting events. And if you're going to subscribe, do it now because you see how good these games are. They only get better. We've got 8 weeks left until the state championship, and we broadcast games all the way up until those 12 coveted state championship games. TexanLive.com, that's the place to be. Not to mention, if you're a volleyball fan, volleyball playoffs starting here in just a couple of weeks. So scan that QR code, TexanLive.com. All right, now it is time to check in on some other action happening across the state. So one of the things that we've been keeping up with is District 23 6A. This one, Kingwood and C.E. King. We're going to get it started with a field goal there, but no good. How about that? Now it's Kingwood. They're going to go ahead, throw the lateral. It's a double pass. Holland Hargraves, he throws it deep, but no, it's intercepted. Zargarian Hogg takes it, and King will take over on the trick play. No, sir, they say. King looking to capitalize. It's Timothy Potts. He's going to throw to the end zone and find his man, Trace Taylor. How about that? Then King's kicker. It's going to be Marcos Hernandez looking to make up for it. Can he get it? No, another missed field goal opportunity. We take you into the quad box, and there you go. Pearland finding their way into the end zone to cut the deficit there. I'll tell you what about this Pearland team. They have that don't give up mentality about them, a defense-heavy team, but an offense that won't let it go by you. We also check in now as our camera gives the nod there on Westlake and Lake Travis, the Battle of the Lakes. This one, just a crucial matchup that we really thought was going to be a close game like this. We weren't exactly sure who had the nod there, but with a quarterback like Chasten Ditta finding his man, finds a seam up the middle and gets taken down right there at the 46-yard line. As we check in to the Battle of the Lakes and go out down there to Mark Honing with the horn.
David Howard all by himself in the back of the end zone.
Handoff up the middle. Nothing doing for Van Hoppen. Swallowed up by Maddox Flynn. Met with a bear hug. 1 yard loss. Do not fool them at all. Clock moving. 8:39 to go in the game. Cavaliers with 2 timeouts remaining. Westlake with 3 timeouts remaining. Football is at the 48 of Westlake. Westlake defense looks a little tired, hands on their hips. The only guy not tired is Elliott Shopper. Here's Ditta, back to pass. It is tipped and incomplete. It fell harmlessly to the ground, but man, that was up there for a long time.
Ball kind of ping-ponged around there a little bit more.
That was dangerous. Well, Buck, we're not going to speculate here. Let's see what they do on. I don't even want, every time we have this conversation, it never even matters.
I'm going to speculate that they have plenty of time to punt the ball and then play defense and get it back.
8:17 to go, clock stop. Lake Travis trails 21-16. Chasten did it in the shotgun. Van Hopping to his right.
5-man rush, and they're all coming.
Good protection. Now Ditta steps up and is tripped up. Loss of 2 on the play. Big defensive stand for Westlake. Elliott Shopper again. How many 31s are out there, Buck?
Looks like 3.
Now they have to punt. It's not even a decision. Doan will get this one away. Doan has only 1 punt in the game, surprisingly. It was a 48-yarder.
Legal procedure again.
Oh.
Those unforced errors again.
Living Good back deep to return. He'll be 5 yards closer now.
I mean, these are the things that just kill you. I mean, you're giving up an opportunity to pin them back. Now your punt returner gets to move up 4 or 5 more yards.
That one's on more. More penalties, Buck. Here's Doan. Line driver, Living Good's got a chance to return it. And nearly a block in the back. And Living Good with a really good return. Living 45, bounces it outside. Great block. He's gone down the sideline. 10-5 touchdown.
80 yards. He got a great block, but that was a line driver. And talking about out-kicking your coverage, Buck. He bobbled the ball initially. And when he bobbled the ball, that just slowed everybody down a little bit for some odd reason. I mean, right at the point of attack, it looked like it was very close to a block in the back as the first man threw. Westlake with a punt return for a touchdown and a pick six in the second half. I mean, their offense not doing much here in the second half, but when you get special teams and defense to score, I don't even want to ask Mike about the momentum now. It just keeps going back and forth.
Well, you certainly could feel the sinking feeling as that return. Block in the back, but moot point here at this juncture of the ball game. But hey, 7:25, get yourself a quick score. Maybe still have a shot at it, but a little quieter than it was maybe a couple of minutes ago here, fellas.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You got to score it.
All right, so there we go. You saw Westlake grab and extend a very impressive lead there in the Cavaliers home stand. So 28-7 now in the Battle of the Lakes. This Westlake team looking like the team to beat out there of Region 4 in what will be 6A Division 1. So excited to see that one. Okay, let's get back to some 6A action. We take you down to District 19 6A. Katy Made Creek taking on Cinco Ranch. First off, it is Made Creek with the ball. Trey Williams is going to hand it off there, and he will make the distance. That's Dalen Robinson all the way, almost untouched. We've got actually DeCaney and Spring here. Then right after that, last play, String tries to tie it up with a field goal, but it's blocked. It's the year of special teams. How about that? Quarterback Superior Hill. He picks it up. Can he take it all the way? Yes, he can. The year of special team continues here. Then Brent O'Neill throws the ball. He's going to hit to Nook Hill on the excellent grab in the air. He catches it and gets the touchdown. Now over to Made Creek and Cinco Ranch. That's Dalen Robinson with the big catch there for the Rams of Made Creek. Got to get a little bit of slow-mo on that one. Take a look at that catch. Then, as you can see, Robinson way up. How about that hot potato, he says, and he takes that one in. Let's go back to Richland and Aledo, and this is what the Bearcats will do, tying it up 35-35 here in the fourth quarter. Richland now with the ball, and you wonder, how in the world do you get a 124-game district winning streak, folks? This is how you do it. Aledo showing absolutely no mercy there at Bearcat Stadium. Richland now with the test, and this is what you do. You walk into the enemy territory, you see Aledo on your chest, and they have not backed down at all. Again, to remind you, Richland without their superstar running back, Michael Terry, as they will continue to try and ground and pound. No lack of running talent, though, as they continue on there. We're checking in with games all across the state as Richland continues to try and end that 17-year win streak.
Clock all you want. Of course, Bearcats have other ideas. They got to get a stop here and get the ball back for their offense, or do something other like create another turnover. Cates will throw. He'll roll the pocket to the right. He will throw to the right side. The pass is picked off. Ben McElree comes up at the interception, just as I said. How about that? Right at the Richland 43-yard line.
Yeah, it's that easy, right? Now they're trying to set up a screen out there. Drew Cates is rolling out there. There's nobody open the screen, nobody open downfield. So I don't know if he's trying to throw it away or what. Ben McAree's there to make the huge interception, get the ball back inside Richland territory just at 5 minutes left in this ball game.
Defense has really woken up. Great point by Hayden Howerton. 3 turnovers they have forced here. And think about this. The Bearcats trailed by a count of 28-14 late in the second quarter. They have outscored Richland since then, 21-7. 1st and 10, ball on the near hash at the Richland 43-yard line with 5:11 to play. Game tied at 35. It's a give to Guillory up the middle. And he's pushing forward as he breaks a tackle at the 40 and leans forward to the 37-yard line after that pickup of 6 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 4 for Guillory. He's nearing the 200-yard mark. He's at 184 on the night. Easily his best game of the season. He had over 160 against Ryan a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and the game's starting to get a little chippy out there. So I mean, Alito's got to be smart in these situations. You can't get a flag in this situation.
It'll be another give to Guillory over the left side. He gets pushed around, breaks a tackle, gets near the 1st down, but I think he's a little bit short. He'll get about 4, get 3 actually down to about the 34-yard line. Again, this possession started at the Richland 43-yard line, so it'll bring up a 3rd down and a yard. The Bearcats want to go quickly here, out of tempo here. Guillory will be the running back with 2 receivers to the left side, and he'll get the carry up the middle, room to run. He's got the 1st down, and the trying to get set up as they wind the clock here. Beard will throw on 1st and 10. He wants to take a shot in the end zone, and the pass is going to be incomplete.
He caught it.
Or is it intercepted?
He caught it.
Caden Finley caught that football.
What a catch.
Unbelievable. It was.
What a catch by Caden Finley. Goes
unbelievable.
Up, one-handed catch. They're able to reel that in. Outstanding effort there from Caden Finley.
Down to the 1-yard line. Zade Walker was in on the coverage. He was down on the play as he collided with Finley, who makes an unbelievable one-handed catch down to the Richland 1-yard line. Unbelievable.
That was an outstanding catch.
I thought it was incomplete.
I thought it was way over his head there. Caden Finley, I mean, just an incredible athlete out there. Goes out and one hand catches it. Somehow reels that in. And a great coverage there from Williams for Richland. Just an outstanding play right there from Caden Finley.
Well, that play covers 31 yards. It is a Railhead Smokehouse and Willow Park 1st down and a trip to the Briggs Freeman Realty Sally Watkins Group red zone. 1st and goal for the Bearcats at the Richland 1. Wildcat formation for Ray Guillory. And he will follow the right side and he will get into the end zone. Touchdown, Aledo Bearcats. They have the lead with 3:48 to play here in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, nothing fancy there. Just Wildcat formation. Ray Guillory at quarterback takes a snap straight ahead into the end zone. A huge response there once again. Finally capitalizing on that defense, that big turnover from Ben McAree, that interception, and taking their first lead of the game.
Schaefer on for the extra point to make this a 7-point ball game. Snap good, hold good, kick also good, and it's brought to you by your local sports clips. The turnaround here at Tim Buchanan Stadium, once again, the Bearcats reeling in the first half, but they have stormed back here in the second half. More importantly, here in the 4th quarter, they take the lead 42-35. We'll keep it here, Kyle.
All right, so Aledo continuing to do what Aledo does. A quick note of a game that we've been following all night long, Mid-County Madness. The Bulldogs of Nederland able to get it done 24-21, taking down the reigning 5A Division II state champions in Port Neches Grove. That defense proving to be as lethal as we thought it might be. Mid-County Madness, Nederland 24, Port Neches Groves 21. All right, back here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, we like to say that we cover the entire state, and a man that helps us do that is our very own Matt Stepp. Out of any game that he possibly could have been at this week, my guy goes out to the 915 in El Paso for El Paso Coronado versus El Paso Eastwood. Stepp, first and foremost, my guy, you know I miss 915, okay? How are you treating El Paso?
Oh man, well, they're treating me way better than I'm treating them. The hospitality's been great. Last night at the new stadium at Socorro was awesome. tonight here at Eastwood. You can hear the band going in the background. They're loud and proud. It's been a tremendous atmosphere and a great night for high school football.
Like we mentioned, you're at that game out there, and this one you might be thinking, like, why are you out there? This one has some pretty big district implications out in District 1 of 6A. Walk me through how this game is affecting those standings, and where are we standing at that game right now?
These two teams are not in the mix for the district championship, but this, I think, is the battle for the final playoff spot in the district. The way things are shaking out, I think the winner of this game is going to have the inside track towards that fourth and final playoff spot in District 1 6A. Eastwood has been, last 3-4 years, really 7 or 8 years, they've been kind of the dominant 6A team in El Paso. Julio Lopez's squad has just been beset with injuries this season. They're on QB4 at the moment. Their best defensive player is out for the year. They've lost a couple of their better receivers. Their running back. They just had bad luck with injuries all year. They've got sophomores and juniors kind of leading the way, playing very well tonight. You got Coronado, a young team led by quarterback Ben Wilson, who's a star baseball player, looking to get to the playoffs for the first time in several years. So it's been an exciting ball game, and right now Eastwood holds a 21-7 lead on the strength of a couple of touchdown runs from Jade Martinez.
He is Matt Stepp. He's going to fill his gut with L&J's Cafe. I have no doubt about it. Get some extra bonus enchiladas or whatever for me, Stepp. But we appreciate Matt Stepp joining us all the way out there from the 915. All right, no time to waste here on the Pickle Power Hour on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. Let's check in with some scores from across the state. We take you to 5A Division 1. A reminder, you can scan that QR code up in the top, texasfootball.com/scores. There are scores from all across the state. Obviously, been keeping our eye on Aledo and Richland, all knotted up at 35. Galveston Ball looking like they might be able to solidify that district championship over Barbers Hill 37-24. Lufkin and Port Arthur Memorial. How about that? All knotted up at 23. That one again with big district implications. Amarillo Tascosa up on an Abilene squad. Then we've got Smithson Valley and New Braunfels duking it out, and Midlothian all over the Lions of Tyler. Bears, Tigers, oh my. Up to 6A we go. DeSoto having no problem with Cedar Hill out of District 11 there. Allen. We said that Allen was lowercase b back. If with this win over Prosper, if they can hold on to this, they will be capital B back. Lee Wigington has this squad back up into the Allen scope that we saw and haven't seen in a couple of years. So a huge win for the Eagles if they can pull this one off. Rockwall Heath and Longview and an absolute slobber knocker there, 15-14. Byron Nelson up on Justin Northwest. Midland Legacy having no problem with Mojo, and then El Paso Eastlake up on El Paso Franklin. So scores all the way across the state, texasfootball.com/scores. If you miss any of the scores tonight, you can go check those out at any point in time. Back to the quad box we go. Games happening all across the state. Hitchcock able to extend their lead against Columbus. Westlake doing the same. We saw that big touchdown throw from Reese Wise earlier. And then Aledo and Richland. Aledo now taking the lead, 42-35, and I'm telling you guys, that's what they do so well. Just when you think that you have them, they find a way to come back. Robbie Jones has done an exceptional job of being able to continue on what the dynamic duo of Steve Wood and Tim Buchanan have done for so long with that Bearcats program. And I got to say, this says to me a lot about this Aledo defense. And I know that they've given up 35 points tonight, but again, against a Richland team that is capable of doing the scoring. But Aledo's defense being able to be down and for the second time in crucial district matchups this year, find a way to hold strong. We remember back a couple weeks ago as Richland takes the big throw, not able to connect on that one. But Aledo able to do this against a Denton Ryan's squad just a couple of weeks ago, going for their 122nd district victory on that one. Got down early and in the second half, held them scoreless. Not holding Richland scoreless here in the second half, but this would be a crucial stop if they can get it on this one late in the fourth quarter. All right, so we can see if Richland can get this one done here. A big shot at the end zone would not do them bad. Is that exactly what they take? able to secure the first down and move the chains, it looks like. Yep, sir, we're moving the chains on that one. So down almost into the red zone on Bearcat territory. This one would be to try and tie it up here. All right, we'll check back in on this one in just a second. We're going to go out to Hitchcock, Texas to check in on Columbus and Hitchcock and see where this one's out. As Columbus takes the big shot down in the end zone, and it's caught. It is caught. How about that? Adam Schobel doing what he does, the TCU commit, never backing down in the face of adversity. That'll knot him up there to 28 points rather. Still down 2, obviously offense walking back out. So late fourth quarter here, if you're Coach Schobel, you're going, all right, this is the time. They're going to huddle up and go for 2 on this one. This could tie them up. If not, they are going to have to rely on a defense that we've been questioning a little bit heading into this one. All right, let's head down to Chase Snyder on the call for this 2-point conversion.
The timeout.
Timeout Columbus.
Taken by Columbus.
So you can see now Columbus taking this timeout before a crucial 2-point attempt here. Adam Schobel over there talking with his dad, head coach Matt Schobel. The whole town of Columbus full of Schobels, but this is one of those very coachable moments. This is a Columbus team that has not had to come back from behind, and now that's what they're doing here. So a crucial time for a Columbus offense that, if they are unable to get this, will put a massive amount of pressure on the Hitchcock or on the Columbus defense. We head now back down to Chase Snyder with the call.
Adam Schobel getting on your Fisher. Schobel rolls wide open. There's a flag down. It's going to be for an illegal formation. Offside on the defense. Did they call an encroachment before the snap? They killed the play. That's the most fortunate offside you're going to see. So now the ball is at the 1.5. And Schobel's going to go under center. Salazar the back. They're going to try to shove him forward, and he gets in. This game is tied at 30.
2-point conversion is good. So with 2 minutes and 4 seconds to go in the game, your score is now the Hitchcock Bulldogs 30, the Columbus Cardinals 30.
30 to 30 with 2:04 left in regulation.
The Royals, Cates in the shotgun, takes the snap, pressure, fires it over the middle. A man is wide open, and it's going to be caught. Touchdown. Deion Jones breaking free down the far sideline, catches the touchdown pass with 1:02 to go. And Richland is a point away maybe from tying it, or will they go for 2? Big question here for Jed Cates.
Yeah, just the worst possible time for a busted coverage in that situation. Just wide open. I mean, it's just, you can't have it in that situation. It's just a huge mental error there for the Bearcats.
Richland will call a timeout. I mean, everything points to them wanting to go for 2 here.
Yeah, and with a minute left, Aledo is going to have a minute, just over a minute left after this.
All right, so Hitchcock and Columbus obviously tying it up there after a scary encroachment call. On the other side of that, now Richland deciding if they are going to line it up and go for 2 against the Bearcats in their home territory. We bounce now to Westlake as they take the knee, and Tony Salazar's ball club will win this edition of the Battle of the Lakes 28-16. An incredible showing from quarterback Reese Wise and this Westlake offense. We anticipated both of these defenses not having to worry about having a fight to fight, and Westlake will take this one off. And let's remember, folks, this might not be the last time that we see these two teams square up this season. A very likely and possible second meeting between these two in Region 4 in the potential regional finals. Tony Salazar's Westlake Shaps taking 28-16 as the handshakes start. All right, we take a look at our lovely friends at Community Coffee as we reset here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. All of these games getting into the final moments. Let's go ahead and continue on the fun in the Pickle Power Hour here as we take you out to North Shore and Atascocita. Caleb Bailey, oh my goodness, what a catch. Hot potato, able to bring it down, had the ball, lost the ball, almost lost the ball a second time, and brings it down again. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck, especially in this one at North Shore. Caleb Bailey going to do the smart thing here and spike that one down. So resetting, number 2 North Shore taking on number 4 Atascocita. This one all but assuredly to decide the District 23 6A crown. We're going to go ahead and take it out now to Gavin Moritz and Noah Arman on the call for this one.
They have a chance to tie it. They have a chance to win. 12 seconds. That's 2 plays in my book, at least.
Second and goal from the 5. 12.2 seconds to play. North Shore down 3 out of timeouts. Here's Bailey. Bailey, sidearm, touchdown North Shore! 6 seconds to play! And it's Quanell Farrakhan Jr. Unreal! And North Shore goes up 26-23. Improbable.
When it comes down to it, you find your best playmaker. Farrakhan delivers. What a drive.
On for the PAT is George Campos. And he knocks it through. It's going to be 27-23 North Shore with 6 seconds to play. And if you're Atascocita, you're sick.
I saw a number of North Shore fans leave early, figuring it was over. Down but not out. The Mustangs continue their epic streak of dominance. And with 6 seconds left, I'm not sure what Atascocita could pull out of the playbook right now. And so you have to assume the kickoff takes off pretty much all of this clock, so they'll get 1 play.
This is a story that Craig Stump and these Atascocita Eagles have seen so many times, 8 times now since 2017. And they have time for a return and max after that max 1 play. Unbelievable.
I mean, Cameron Smith's family's going to be telling that story for generations. I mean, what
He was
a
on
catch.
his back, tipped it to himself 2 or 3 times and caught it, and it set up a game potentially winning touchdown to Quanell Farrakhan Jr. from Caleb Bailey. Here's the squib kick. It's bobbled, and it's picked up. And time is going to run out. And North Shore wins it 27-23 in the most improbable of fashions here at Turner Stadium. Wow. And for the North Shore Mustangs on the road, they win their 9th consecutive game against these Atascocita Eagles in a game that came down to the quite literal final play, 27-23, North Shore the final.
I mean, what an evenly grouped set of team.
Absolute pandemonium down in Turner Stadium. As you heard Gavin Moritz say, 9 times has North Shore had Atascocita's number in the last handful of years. I mean, truly, truly an incredible finish there for Coach Willie Gaston and his Mustangs squad. They're going to look back on that one and that catch while on his back for so many years to come. Crazy, crazy stuff. All right, we check back in here now on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. Columbus and Hitchcock all knotted up there in the fourth quarter, 30-30, and the same thing there with Richland and Aledo at 42. This, my friends, is why you tune into Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight for the best action all around the state. Week 9 continuing to deliver here. All right, here we go as we take a look now. Richland and Aledo still at midfield, so we'll let this one ride out. Hitchcock and Columbus, guys, in overtime. As you can see, the Hitchcock players start to get their fans pumped up. Let's go down to Chase Snyder on the call in overtime.
Both these teams fired up and ready to get to it. Here we go, first down and 10. Here's a big time run for Jared Dotson. Takes it inside the 20 into the 15. Dotson once more. Second down and 1. Allen for the end zone. Johnson can't get it. Underthrown by a step. Jack Schobel, the man on the coverage on Johnson, the intended target. It is now third down and 1. Make that 2 as the ball's at the 17. Johnson went backwards. He went backwards when he caught the ball. And he's only able to get one, if that. Jack Schobel on the tackle. And Hitchcock will more than likely go for this. Timeout on the field, taken by Hitchcock.
Timeout Bulldogs.
4th down and 3. On 4th down, Allen's going to throw it, and it's caught. What a gutsy call. And a 1st and goal coming up for Jared Dotson.
For the 1st down.
Dotson once more, he doesn't want to come out of this game.
All right, so obviously this one in overtime, Aledo and Richland doing the same thing here. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to close us out here, but we're going to go ahead and let you watch the finishing touches of this game. Enjoy Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight, and we'll see you next week.
Terrell Allen, just outside the 5.
2nd and goal.
Ball spotted at the 6. Second and goal. Close, but not quite for Terrell Allen.
Terrell Allen on the carry.
And it's now 3rd and goal. The ball is at the 2. Third and goal, 2-yard line. Marquise Allen shovels it to Allen, and Allen gets in. Marquise Allen to Terrell Allen on the speed option. And Hitchcock strikes first in overtime. Extra point is up, and it is good. 37-10.
That makes the score now. The Hitchcock Bulldogs 37. The Columbus Cardinals 30.
It's now Adam Schobel's turn. 1st and 10. Schobel looking, flush to his right, throws on the move, pass is caught. They want a holding. Elijah Usher with no gain.
Cameron Taylor on the tackle, 2nd down.
Second and 10 from the 25. Time is not a factor. And a timeout taken by Columbus.
Now Columbus.
Knocks him down for that yard loss. Back to the 6. It'll bring up 2nd down and goal at the 6. Again, no game clock here in the overtime. It's just a 40-second play clock. 7th play of the possession coming up.
I think it's 4th down, too.
Oh, it is 4th down. 4th down, so they did not give Jones the first down when he stepped out of bounds. So 4th down and 2 at the 7-yard line. Cates to throw, wants it into the end zone, and it's overthrown. Incomplete, and Alito's defense holds.
Yeah, I mean, Richland was begging for a flag over there, but it was thrown about 5 feet out of bounds there. It was uncatchable. Huge stand there for the Bearcats defense. Now the Alito offense only needs a single point to win this game, and starting at the 25-yard line.
So they will start at the 25-yard line. The Bearcats get their defense, get their offense on the field here to try and win it. And, you know, that 2nd down pass to Jones, I thought he had stepped out and gave him the first down, but then they said they ruled him short.
Yeah, because he caught the ball and ran directly out of bounds. He didn't find the line of gain, so he left it short there, and then the following play they ran.
It's now 3rd and 10. Schobel under duress and just got rid of it. Should be intentional grounding. There wasn't anyone close. Malcolm Simpson with the pressure.
Now Simpson with the sack. 4th down.
It is 4th down and forever. 4th down and, boy, 24. Trips on the near side for Schobel. Here comes more pressure. Schobel running for his life. Looks, stays on his feet, launches it for the end zone. It is touchdown! Braylon Fisher has done it again!
Touchdown.
And so is Adam Schobel. That is unreal. And Columbus is discussing if they want to go for 2. And they are going for 2. They're going for the win. This is it. Schobel rolls, throws, batted down! Brian Harris wins it for Hitchcock. The Bulldogs survive and take first place.
What a game, ladies and gentlemen, what a game.